Hey everybody, welcome to the season 2 relaunch of Oddballs TV. I'm excited. Who's excited? We're going to have new segments, we're going to have some pre recorded stuff. It's going to be great. And we're only down to one live a week. So, Saturday nights, 9 p.m. EST, that is your slot. Save it for me. All right, tonight I'm really excited. I wanted to have him on when I first started the show, but unfortunately, he left me on read for months. Yeah. And then finally figured out who the hell I was. And yeah, so without further ado, we have Mr. Brandon from Oodles A Noodles. What's
I knew
up?
who you were. I've always known who you were. I can't believe I left you. It's on red. I did. You're like, you left me on red. I was like, no, the fuck I didn't. I went back in there. I was like, damn, I'm wrong and you're right. How about that? That doesn't happen too often. But in this particular case, I was like, God damn. So
I guess I just was ignorable. That's fine.
it was probably hatchling season, like it is right now, when I'm not as consistent on
It
social
was,
media.
yeah, it was in the fall. It was a bit November-ish.
Yeah, so my big booms in my seasons, I have like my seasons are weird, right? I have like 3 months on, 3 months off. So like January, February, March is like bam, it kicks off in March to like April, May, June. I got a lot of eggs on the ground, and by July, August, shipments are already going out.
Mm-hmm.
And then September, October is sort of a lull, and then boom, explodes in November, December, and I'm also pairing again in October, and like
Yeah.
it's those. So the fall and the spring for me, I'm hatching like probably like 600 snakes. I actually
Mm-hmm.
just did the math like last week. I'm like usually between 550 and 620, somewhere in that ballpark.
Oof. So how many clutches are you expecting this year?
So I'm pretty sure I just got my 78th and last clutch for this year. I had to stop pairing. Um, so
Who
I,
had that problem?
I think there is one girl that might go, and it'll be some like firefly, leopard, xanthic,
Mm-hmm.
and clown stuff.
Ugh.
And a 6 year long project, all right, for
Mm-hmm.
me. Um,
Yeah.
because I didn't come in this with money, I started from scratch. But so that
Same.
yeah, that might be my 79th. So we'll see. But I'm out of the army now, and I'm doing this full time. And I've been looking at land and buildings and houses
Mm-hmm.
um, all over the East Coast. Well, not all over the East Coast, but on like the Tennessee, North Carolina border, like right up there in the Smoky Mountains. So
Okay.
I'm trying to. I would like to buy land with like a house and a well already on it, and I'll
Mm-hmm.
just put like money into the house, make it what I want it, and then put up a facility right there, and then put up a giant wall so no one can fuck with me. A wall, like a fucking like a hardcore, like 20-foot high stone wall with razor wire cemented into the stone, and then on the other side, I want a 25-foot long gap with a 25-foot drop, and then another wall, and then a fence so my dogs don't get
I,
near the wall.
where's the moat? Is my question.
Well,
Where is the
the
moat?
moat could be the moat could be the 25-foot huge ring of fire, and then in between like
No. If you're gonna have a moat, you're gonna have a moat with like crocodiles in it. Come
well, I'm a dwarf caiman guy, but American alligators would actually probably make it in North Carolina. Like they
on.
probably would thrive. So that's like my dream, but realistically, I'm just gonna get the land, the house,
Yeah.
a giant wall, no shit, and put the facility up, and then I'm gonna just start banging out the NARBC shows and
Have you been to many shows yet this year? Because you guys seem to be having a
a
few.
lot. I've been to a few herp shows.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to Arlington. There's
I
a
want to go
local.
there next year.
Uh,
Next year, I want to go to Arlington.
to be honest, okay, Tinley Park is in a league of its own, realistically, but I would
Hmm.
say Arlington is my favorite show because it seems like the vibe is very homey. You know, it's very
Hmm.
it's very welcoming. I love Texans, man. Like if I'm moving to that eastern part of the United States because I'm from
Hmm.
Pittsburgh, PA. Hate it there. Don't want to ever live there again. But if something happens, I want to be able to drive home that same day. So that's my compromise. But Texas would be if I had to pick a place. That'd be where I'd live forever, man. I hear great things. I've seen great things. The people are nice. The
Hmm.
laws to keep your snakes are pretty pro snake keeper, so I like
Don't, e-
that.
don't even get me started on that. I found out through the underground that my province is getting a new inclusion list. So we have a list of what we're allowed to keep, and that's it.
Okay.
Anything not on the list, you can't have.
Yeah.
So now I heard they're coming out with a new one through the underground, and I am nervous as all get out. Because usually what happens, we lose things, and it's already pretty strict. So, but
So
I can move 20 minutes across town into Quebec, and my only rules are in that town is no crocodilians, no venomous, and no snakes that get longer than 3 meters at adult length. Those are my only rules.
those are actually pretty. That's pretty legit. I'd probably be
That's
there
pretty
already if
easy
I were you.
rules.
Yeah, those are
Yeah.
easy rules.
I mean,
that's
I don't
that's.
want any crocodilians. Like I don't have the space or the capacity to do it. So
Oh,
I I don't want venomous. That's fine by
I
me.
do. I do definitely. I'm definitely. That's the first big like thing I'm putting in the house
Mhm.
when it comes to renovation. Is I think I'm going to do like a 20 by 20 dwarf caiman enclosure, like a zoological
Uh,
based enclosure that
like a bioactive.
fully bioactive. I want to be able to swim in the
Yeah.
pond with my caiman. Like that's how big I want it. And
Yeah.
then I'll do a tegu one probably right next to that, and I want them to both be able to go outdoors as
Love
well.
tigers.
Tegus are lizard puppies, man. They really are. They're pretty
I got to hang out with one in Amish country. I mean, also
Amish country. What the
so
fuck?
so think of that. Thinking out loud, like that's an achievement unlocked. Like that's 2,500 points, you know. A
500
girl
points for hanging out with the Amish.
hanging out with a Tagu in Amish country. So
Yeah.
I mean, it was a Colombian Tagu. A girl had it. I mean, she wasn't Amish, so she had power. Just her
Gotcha.
house was just in the middle of Amish country. Like we're driving, and I see the sign that says, watch out, like carriage country. And I'm like, what?
We have Amish.
And all of a sudden, I like turn around and I see, and I'm like, oh my god, we have Amish here, and I was so fucking excited. Like you have no idea. I was just like,
So
John, stop! I want to buy berries from the Amish children.
the province you're in now is
Hmm.
like above like New York. And
It's
all,
attached to Maine.
oh shit. Okay, so yeah,
Hmm.
you're up on that right piece.
Hmm.
The U.S. then. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I thought.
Yep.
That's
So
what.
literally, I can drive 3 minutes from my house and hit the Maine border.
Okay, damn. All right. Damn, your accent would be so different if you were just born 3 minutes away, dude.
Well, it depends because on the other side of town, that's another community that runs with ours. So it's very much French.
Oh, okay,
Um,
that makes
I
sense.
live in a very French community. I mean, I went to the store today, and not many people spoke English. It was great. First time I went to a store in over a year.
So I'm an American, all right. So Quebec. Okay.
Yes, yes. Quebec's on the other side of town.
Now, how French are they?
Quebec?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, very French. So I
that's
mean,
what
you gotta
that's what
you
I
gotta look at
thought.
it too. So I'm in this town that's in like a panhandle.
Yes.
So on one side of town, you've got the Maine border, and then the other side of town, you got the Quebec border, and it's
Gotcha,
all what's
gotcha.
called Acadien, Acadian country. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So that's where Cajuns came from. Cajuns came from Acadians up here, and then they were sent down to Louisiana.
Damn, that
So
sucks. Louisiana sucks, dude. I hate that place so bad. Poor Cajuns. He got shit on straight up. Here, meet this lady named Katrina. She's a hurricane. She's gonna fuck your life up.
oh god, flashback.
Now the army would always make us go do a month of training before deployment
Mm-hmm.
at Fort Polk.
Yep.
So miserable. I played Fort Polk, Louisiana. Fuck.
Yeah.
And
Basic
fuck that. Just
basic training around here is actually in Quebec for the military. So you go to Saint Jean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I only worked with the Canadian Army once, and it was actually at
Saint Jean.
Fort Polk JRTC,
Okay.
Louisiana. Now that I think about it, yeah, they were down there. I think they were the airborne because I was airborne at the time. I'm pretty sure they were the airborne guys. And they had did some jumps with us.
Mm-hmm.
Did some joint training and stuff. That's the only time I ever worked with the Canadians armies, but they were cool, man.
Go to bed. Good night. Bye. She's excited I'm working again, so she's trying to see who it is.
Oh.
Not someone you should be watching. Goodbye.
Yeah, I'm not that kind of guy. I'm the kind of, the person, I'm the witch who has the house made out of candy, who throws Hansel and Gretel in the oven.
Oh, God.
You know what I'm saying? I'm the witch, man.
That's horrid.
I'm kidding. I would just eat the house, dude. For real.
So one thing I kind of wanted to talk about, because you and I had a great conversation about it a couple days ago. And it also gives me an update because people have been asking how our first season's going over here. I'd like to.
Yeah.
And I think you and we had a really great conversation about it. And now that I've stewed in it and stuff, I think it's a good conversation to have.
You're ready to
with
talk
people.
about it?
I'm ready to talk about it. So, I mean, I may cry. It's still hard, but so we technically had our first clutch here over at the house. So it was a Saturday night. Go check snakes for bed. I see my one snake that was going this year is, she's all turned the funny way with the belly up, and you could see her just contracting. I mean, I've given birth. I know what contractions are, So, push the bin in. Okay, I'm going to check her in the morning. It's going to be great. I wake up in the morning. I go down to check her. I see, some slugs and things like that. And I also see a lot of blood. A lot of blood. It was a lot. And unfortunately, there was an egg stuck as well. So, unfortunately, we did lose her. From what I've talked to a few people about, it sounds almost like it could have been a blocked oviduct or a ripped oviduct that tore and hemorrhaged out. What sucks though is, and Brandon can attest to this, I blamed myself for days.
Yeah,
I thought,
it wasn't your fault, man.
But here's the thing: these things aren't talked about. So I think I screwed up. I thought she had got stuck on the egg, if we had stayed up with her, I could have deflated the egg, where we go, yada, yada, yada. And I talked to you about it. I know you've had a similar situation to that. Yeah. I've talked to a couple people and I found out they've had similar situations. So, I mean, it's just something that's not talked about. You don't expect these things. And when they happen, because it's not talked about, you do blame yourself.
Yeah, and it's really difficult to put certain things out there because I'm pretty open about the fact that I don't go to the vet a lot, because I do a lot of things myself. With that being said, I learned how to do all the things myself under a licensed and boarded exotic animal veterinarian. Years of experience and stuff.
Yeah.
But if there's certain things I really can't do myself. I had a female black pastel literally years ago. She pushed an egg out and her oviduct came out. Like it was still in me.
Yeah.
The whole thing came out. I was like,
Wow.
I don't know what to do, man. And that was like, that's when I realized I need to start learning about that kind of stuff. When I tried to learn about it, you're right. As far as like on YouTube or breeders putting out content, there wasn't a lot of it. So I went on Google Scholar and I ended up having to read a lot of college papers published by doctors in veterinary medicine. But that's still not the same as watching a video of them cut the snake open, take the egg out of the oviduct, stitch it shut, put it back where it's supposed to go, because it's important. And then where do I stitch it to keep it in, right? And I lost that female, that black pastel. I ended up cutting her open, pulling all the eggs out of her, and it incubated. All 8 eggs were good, but I did lose her, and that.
Yeah.
I feel you. That fucking shit hurts.
It hurts, and like I'm not blaming people. I just wish that stuff was talked about, because I mean, you see me, I was not in a good headspace.
Yeah.
I blamed myself. I thought, like I see so and so doing good. They never say anything. I see so and so. I mean, I still would have been upset, and my heart hurt. But that would have saved me even more heartache, knowing that okay, this stuff does happen.
Yeah.
And in that situation, there was absolutely nothing I could do. There wasn't.
My dog's in here. I'm gonna try not to run him over with the chair.
And like, what a first clutch is all I'm going to say.
So, I mean, my first clutch, I only had one baby live. Like, I don't know. I don't even know what happened. Everything was good. I put them all in egg boxes. They were all good. Everything was fine. The incubator was fine. But all the eggs went bad except for one.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah. No, it's just...
It happens.
It happens. And
it does. I'll tell you what. So this is my 7th year producing snakes, and I am so dialed in. My collection is so established that like I had a desert ghost girl just give me eggs yesterday, and I looked at her the day before, and I was like, "You're gonna lay tomorrow." And the next day I woke up, there's 8 eggs, and I'm that in tune with my animals, right? So. All those clutches I told you, 70, 78 in the incubator, and everything is good.
Yep.
I had the only one, depending on how you look at it, I mean, I had to untangle a few umbilical cords and things like that, but the only one bad thing that had happened this year is I had a female slug out on me, and I don't know why, because I did everything the same that I always do. It could have been a male, it could have been a multitude of things. But it just goes to show no matter how dialed in you are, because every 78 in a row, perfect, a slug clutch, and I didn't do anything different. So sometimes you can't stress about things that are out of your control.
Oh, yeah. And we didn't even think anything was going to go, because she looked like she was going to go, but she was taking forever. And then I was mentioning to Antoine, and he's like, "You do Ambien, right?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "It takes longer than if they were on a 90-degree hotspot. Did you know that?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh." And he goes, when did she ovulate? And I said, "I think she ovulated this." He's like, "Give it 2 weeks." Nowhere to lie, 2 weeks later. So that's another thing I didn't know either, that if you're doing, Ambien only temps versus hotspot temps, it takes longer for all this stuff to happen. So, I'm expecting like
So there's a few things, and this is why I tell people, also everybody, I'm really sorry. I just now pulled the chat up, so I'm like I'm getting blown up right now.
Yeah.
Hi Tracy. Hi Skeleton. Hi everybody. Elliot, I hope you're recovering from your surgery really good, man.
Much love to Elliot.
That's an awesome name. So hi everybody. I'm really sorry that I'm just now seeing everything.
Have you not met for Pete Snakes? He's in Chris's Discord. He's local to me. He's a serpent educator. He'll be
That's
on. He'll be on. I think it's August 7th.
yeah, I'll have to watch. So people know, I'm a very huge introvert. Like, I'm really hard to get a hold of. I don't like
Yeah,
to
yeah.
talk to people.
Don't tell me. I know that.
Like, yeah, dude, if you really need to get a hold, if you ever really, really need to get a hold of me, you have to hit up Chris. Chris has like my personal cell phone number, not even like my business. He has like my personal.
Chris, you could have helped me out like
Sorry for throwing
7,
you under
8
the.
months
I'm
ago when
sorry
I
for
was
throwing you
like,
under the bus, bro. Oh,
I even told him you left me on read. I'm like,
I didn't know if he had to
I
be.
really like this guy. He's funny. You
To be
asked him to be
fair,
on. I did. He left me on read.
I don't think Chris had my number 7, 8 months ago. I think I recently gave him my number when we talked about something. We sort of both might. I don't want to say too much, but we both have some banana clown that has something attached to it.
Okay.
It's like this. It's the same thing, but we're just both sort of like, we send each other. He sent me a picture of a clutch recently. Actually, it looked really good. Congrats on that clutch, bro. He's gonna know what I'm talking about. And
Yeah.
we talked about some ID stuff in there, and so yeah, Chris is. I don't like, how do I put this? When I say I'm a huge introvert, I mean huge. But if people need help, I will always come out of my shell to help them. With that being said, Chris is someone who's like, when I speak to him, and I don't want to say this in a way where I don't want to make people feel like I think they're dumb when I talk to them.
Yeah.
But I can actually use proper scientific terminology when I talk to Chris, instead of having to go through this huge long explanation of what anthropomorphism means and how it affects your whole collection. Like,
you don't have to put the dunce cap on.
Yes.
Like you do with me.
Well, it's, again, everybody, no offense. Everyone started somewhere. I didn't know. I spent, as a matter of fact, on one of my deployments, I got lucky because I was a little higher ranking at the time, and I had like a nice, chill 6-month deployment in Afghanistan, where I was working with really high-ranking people, just sort of doing stuff I can't tell you about, but it really wasn't that crazy. And I had a lot of downtime, so I spent straight 6 months on Google Scholar. So when you talk about things like the tear in the oviduct, right? These are things that I had to read to learn about, right?
Yeah.
So, for example, a lot of the egg goop that is on the egg when it comes out of the snake is made out of platelets. For people who don't know, platelets are what cause clotting in your blood and things like that, and begin the real repair process after a wound. So that's why they stick together so well, right? Because when they dry, it's almost like your blood clots or coagulates and solidifies. The platelet cells solidify. That's how the eggs stick together. And that's why, like, if you get an egg right out of the female, it's almost like it has a very thin coat of, like, oil or something. Like, it's a little slick. And then if you wait for a while and it dries out, it feels way different. And then we all know eventually it has that leather paper feeling when you go to cut it. But the platelets, right? So what if the platelets begin to solidify after ovulation inside of the oviduct when the snake is straining to push the egg out the oviduct, and the platelets have solidified the egg to the oviduct, and the egg gets pushed through, it'll rip a hole in that oviduct. But I did not understand. No, I just told you how an oviduct rip occurs from start to finish.
Yeah.
But I personally didn't know that until that incident with that black pastel girl. And like I had a baby. It was a banana butter female, and it had a cloacal prolapse. Like, all the insides are out. It was really really bad. And then I had to learn about that. And then all this stuff that I slowly had to research and learn about from Google Scholar, because I think there's a lot of things breeders would say, like I'm saying now,
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a degree to practice animal medicine, right? So
Yeah.
how credible is the information I'm giving you? And that's what I think a lot of people have in the back of their mind. That's what I have in the back of my mind is
Mm-hmm.
I can tell someone how what I just told you, how an oviduct rip can occur, how an egg can get stuck because when it ovulates, it's oblong and it's sideways and not long ways. How a follicle can burst, how follicular reabsorption occurs, how the follicular development occurs, like the anatomy, the physiology, like the way the lungs are, they work in different ways. It's so much, man. But
Mm-hmm.
how credible is the information I'm giving you? Like, I don't have a degree, you know what I mean? So if I put that out there, why would people believe a guy like me? I'm not a veterinarian. I'm not anything. I'm just a private keeper and breeder of snakes. And I think that's why a lot of information isn't out there like that.
Yeah. I think there needs to be that information out there though. Because I mean,
I
again,
agree.
going back to it, like as much as I love this hobby, you go into it thinking everything's going to be sunshine and rainbows,
Oh yeah, because you only see Pompeii's and, and all this crazy shit. Yeah.
and everybody's like doing fabulous, and everyone's like, these are so cool, and then you don't see the stuff like, back my female blue and oviduct. Oh my god, she went off food after she laid and just died because she wouldn't go back eating.
Yeah.
Because that can happen too.
Yep. Or when a male blows a hemipene, people focus on their females a lot. Don't neglect your males, guys. You can
Mm-hmm.
have a penile prolapse, a cloacal prolapse. Males can blow hemipenes, and if you're pushing your male too hard, I mean, you can breed them to death for real. Like
Yep.
you have to be. I always try to be mindful when I do everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I have a blue tongue skink, and whenever I feed him, I'm just like, how big is your stomach? Like I think about things like that. Like that should be about the portion size you get,
Mm-hmm.
and no one told me that. No one told me I should think like that for my animals. I just common sense dictated,
Yeah.
and you'd think
Like,
common sense would dictate to put that information out.
d- there's a lot of information that I wish people would share, but they don't.
Like
But
what's a good one? What's a good one? I'll
I
share it with
mean,
you if you could think of it. Literally
well,
anything.
see, here's the thing. I don't know what I don't know.
Oh damn it! Yeah, that's the other thing.
That's
Yeah,
the other
okay,
thing.
that's
I
a big
don't know
one.
what I don't know.
Yeah, that is a truly a huge one. So when I decided, okay, like I'm gonna retire from the army, I'm gonna do this full time. Um, I started learning shit that I never thought I'd have to think about real fast,
Yep.
and it was just like what's the most efficient way to maintain a clean collection instead of having to deep clean 200 snakes 2 16-hour days, right? Fuck that.
I
Just
spot clean every day.
I do one full deep clean every time the snake sheds. That seems to be what people are moving to recently in
Yeah.
Altaria. It has helped with my snake's pain responses immensely.
Yeah.
Every time that they shed, bam, new. I'm on. So obviously, ARS and Freedom Breeder tubs and Repta chip is what I run,
Mm-hmm.
and dude, new chip every time, man.
What am I on? I can't reach it. It's like the cheap $9 like cocoa mulch from like the garden center.
Okay. I mean, if it works, does it work? That's what
It
matters.
works.
Mhm.
Like you can literally see, you can tell by the mulch when it's time to deep clean. Like you know.
Yeah, yeah, it'll get moldy or whatever.
Not moldy. It just like it just stops working. Like
Oh, okay.
it's just not doing its job anymore.
Okay.
But I mean, it's 9.99 for a block of it, and it does me a while. One block
So,
does me a while.
how much does that block weigh? Do you know off the top of your head?
Let's see if
Ish.
I can. I've got some literally like right beside me. Like they're
Okay.
in the background. And I get
Okay,
mail
yeah.
from them.
So it is like the size of a block of chip.
Yeah. Like
Okay,
it's on
gotcha.
my daughter's
So
dollhouse.
it's like a 10-pound block then, probably.
Yeah. Add
Okay.
water to it, inflates. Well, not inflates. It
It
sops up.
like absorbs the water, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, there's also like it's so expensive to get that stuff shipped into where I live that I'm just like, I'm gonna use the 9.99 ship from the garden center.
Yeah, yeah, no. Look, it's not even really necessarily about what you use. It's if honestly I've had to take my collection being in the military so many different places. I've been in places
Hmm.
where it's like a desert where like humidity is 10 to 30% ambient.
Oh God.
I've been to peninsulas where there's monsoon season in
Hmm.
winter. I've been in the mountains where the altitude makes a huge difference. I've
Hmm.
been um, in like a place where humidity is really high and it's the
Yep.
forest and it's close to the beach, and then I have trouble keeping humidity down. And it's like, it doesn't, I've used crazy different tactics and techniques to make insane shit happen. Like it's unreal.
Yep.
And it doesn't necessarily matter what you use as long as it's safe for the animal and you can make it work.
Oh
You,
yeah.
then you're good to go. If your animal's eating, if your animal straight up is reproducing, like if your animal's eating, pooping, peeing, shedding, and breeding, there's literally you're fine.
Oh,
You're absolutely fine.
mine are trying to reproduce.
Well, I mean, yours still have the urge to
Well,
walk and copulate.
we also moved early October, so I think that threw all our the majority of like all our females that were of age or proven breeders, I think that threw them off.
Yeah, the move will. Every time I've also moved, most of my girls always will take that year off every time, and it really sucks.
Yeah, because our lease is up in end of September, and Dawn's like, "Do you want to find a new apartment?" I'm like, "No, we're staying put for a year.
Yeah,
I'm getting a season out of my animals. No."
so that's what I said earlier when I like what I meant when I said earlier. My collection is established. Like
Yeah,
I've been stationed. This is the longest I've ever been stationed somewhere, and
yeah.
that's 3 years I've been here in Oklahoma. And
Wow.
yeah, so this is the first time I've even had this many clutches, and not only that, because of the initial move from North Carolina to Oklahoma,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of my girls took that time off and reabsorbed. So they didn't go for 18 months. So now not only do I have 78 clutches out of nowhere, but 77 of those 78 clutches are
Mm-hmm.
9+ eggs. Only one clutch is 5 eggs. That's
It's
it.
kind of like the hidden blessing with them reabsorbing because I've been told like if they reabsorb, they're going to be better the next year.
I don't know if that's necessarily true. I've been told the same. I know that this is crazy that I'm getting all these eggs. However, understand that when people breed a female for the
Mm-hmm.
first time, when they're first sexually mature, their body is only so big.
Yeah.
So they're only going to be able to give you so many eggs. I
Mm-hmm.
just had, I say that, but I just had a desert ghost girl yesterday give me 8 eggs on her first year.
I wish
But
I had that problem, Brandon.
I bought into,
Gee.
you know what? I bought into Desert Ghost, and people are like, "Dude, that gene sucks." The girl I was dating at the time, she was like, "That morph isn't even popular." And now people try to buy DGs from me, and I keep them all.
Oh man, what I would do for female DG. Not even gonna lie.
I'm gonna be honest. I keep everything. I'm gonna be honest. It's pretty hard to get an
Well,
animal
that
from.
was my plan this year. Was I'm gonna hold back every single female I produce. I don't care.
Mhm.
Fluff up the collection, make the things I need to make the things I need.
It's definitely a good financial strategy to keep, I think, pretty much as many applicable females as you
Hmm.
can for maybe the first 2 or 3 years. What I mean by that is don't keep like all your normal females. Like keep a
Oh,
couple
yeah.
single gene females, right? Because still,
Certainly, there's nothing wrong with the single gene female.
yeah, because they're going to give you a clutch in a few years, and then when they give you something more powerful, and it comes time to replace them, you sell them, and they've given you probably 4 clutches. They've paid for themselves, made you
Mhm.
money. Here's their genetic upgrade, and then you sell them for more than you paid for them because now they are
Mhm.
a proven breeder. Um,
Mhm.
so it's I don't I mean on paper I know it doesn't make sense to sell a breeder female ever, but the genetic upgrade is well worth it as
Yeah.
far as far you can have 50 clutches a year and make $70,000 off those clutches.
Yeah.
And then in 5 years you could still have 50 clutches, and if you've done the genetic upgrade you should make double what you made before.
Yeah. I know people who will someone did it the other night actually. They bred an animal, they got a genetic upgrade and immediately sold the mom and I'm like, "Why would you wait until the daughter
Is of
is
size.
of size?"
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like the daughter to produce more daughters
Mhm.
because something else people don't talk about is it is possible for male or female snakes to just be sterile. Like,
Mhm.
just like humans. Hey, what are you barking at? Come here.
There's males that won't breed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%. 100%.
Then there's my Mojave Asphalt that you put him in the bin and he is locked with the female within 10 seconds. Not exaggerating.
Yeah, it's wild. Some are better than others, obviously, and something about python breeders don't think about. Don't give my dog attention. He has real bad anxiety.
Aw.
Something about python breeders don't think about it a lot is genotype. So, all python breeders
Mhm.
are typically very focused on phenotypic and polymorphic differences
Mhm.
in their appearance in their snakes.
Yep.
Well, they don't think about what a lot of lizard breeders think about, which is their genotype.
Yep.
So you want your lizard's head to have the bone structure to be a certain way.
Mhm.
You're gonna hold
That's a
that.
lot in the bearded dragon world.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's
huge.
where I came from. Is
Yeah,
the
so
bearded dragon world.
the lizard community in general,
Mhm.
the genotype is huge. So I have a female clown. She's like 6 years old. How much
Mhm.
does she weigh right now?
Oh, puppy.
3,680 grams, and
Yep.
she is empty. Like she's like 6 foot long and over 4,000 grams usually. She's bouncing back from laying a clutch right now.
Yep.
So those from that huge girl, I hope that her offspring carry that physical genotype in
Mhm.
their DNA to be larger snakes, produce larger offsprings. And
Mhm.
she is she has only ever refused a meal when she's gravid,
Mhm.
ever in 6 years. So that's also like a genotype type trait that can get passed along. And I try to breed for that as well as you're obviously your phenotypic differences because that's where the money comes in the morphs, right?
Yeah.
So genotype is something that I think is underlooked and will greatly benefit people's collections long term because of
Oh
your
man, like
production.
so I came from the bearded dragon world. We were breeding bearded dragons, and that's then John wanted a snake, and we moved into the snake stuff, and we're no longer breeding the bearded dragons. We're
Of
letting
course
them
not.
live there. No, they're only you can only breed them for so long,
I
anyways.
know. And to be
Like
honest, I hate that market. I love beardies, but I
I
think
do
the
too.
dragon market is
I do
it's, it's
too.
it's
And
too
if you
controlled by the pet trade and not enough by the breeders.
no, and you have to really, really track your lines
Oh,
because
your
line breeding
lineage.
in bearded dragons is bad.
Yeah,
Bad,
lineage
bad,
is
bad, bad, bad. Those cute little fat bearded dragons that you see that are lazy and just flop there and that are adorable, that is not a bearded dragon. That is a result of years of line breeding. If you have a nice bearded dragon that has not been line bred for generation, guess what? It ain't a cute, cuddly, adorable little thing.
No, it's a bearded dragon.
It is a bearded dragon. It's going to like it's a feral little beast. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I
They're
love
feisty.
babies. I
Yes.
think babies are amazing.
They're cute. There's issues, and that's why even myself coming from that community, I have a hard time with things like scaleless because I come from that community and I see silkies, and a lot of beardy breeders won't tell you they will literally cull silkies right as soon as it pips. Because 9 times out of 10, and it has happened, they don't even make it out of the egg because they go to like disconnect and they rip their stomachs open.
Yeah, I've seen silkies. I've only ever seen one silkie, and I'm not saying that there's only one out there in adulthood, but I've only ever seen one fully mature silkie, and it was actually small for a bearded dragon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they don't thrive well.
No. So something that I know, I was just having this conversation about a week and a half ago with one of my best friends who's a bioactive person.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a pretty big supporter of bioactive. I think it's really cool for your pets.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about breeding in it or anything like that. Like, I'm not a bioactive expert, but
I love it. I breed ice pods, everything. Like,
yeah. So I love bioactive. I think it's a great way to keep your animals. I can't remember where the fuck I was. Oh yeah, what the fuck were we just talking about?
Silkies, and then you went to bioactive.
So something I was having a talk about with my friend, who's big in the bioactive, is about how a lot of people in the reptile community, not the snake, lizard, ball python, whatever,
the overall
reptile community, yes, have experimented breeding scaleless animals. And something that I have found, that I have noticed, is the only scaleless animals that actually thrive in captivity well have the scaleless gene occurring in the wild naturally as a commonality. Like, it's common to see scaleless.
Silkies, like bearded dragons, like the scaleless bearded dragons. They could not.
No,
they would not survive in the wild. Absolutely.
In Australia, hell no, you crazy.
No. Like, you can't even put anything with sharp edges in their enclosure because they can literally scrape their tail off. Like, they're so fragile.
Yeah,
and they sunburn.
Yeah,
like
that was my initial thought. Is like, wow, if you had a scaleless bearded dragon in Australia, that thing would get cooked.
I mean, even in an enclosure, you're looking at their hotspot being 110 to 120 degrees. And you have to literally rub them down with vegetable glycerin.
Yeah, that's not worth it.
Oil people under a hot light. What is that going to do?
This is a good topic. I like this topic.
So I
was playing with snakes, and it's pretty much the only time I ever watch YouTube. And so I have MJ on with Daniel Allison, and Justin Hopton later. And they were talking about the scaleless ball python, and pretty much what I took from that. This was not putting words in anyone's mouth. This was literally what I took personally from their conversation. Is Daniel is still successfully keeping and making scaleless animals, but he says that people should not have a. He thinks that it takes a lot of care. He's like, it's 3 times the care than a normal ball python. So this is something like people should not have a large collection of it. People, it's probably for more of an advanced keeper, not a first time snake basic keeper if you want it for a pet. But other than that, he says every full scaleless animal he's ever hatched is alive and kicking and doing well, and they're shedding fine, and like they're possible to keep alive, um, but they're hard to take care of.
Yeah.
I
See,
personally,
I have such a sour taste again from the silkies
yeah, no, I
that
would
it's
never do
just
scaleless. I mean, scaleless corns again, they do great in captivity.
oh,
Still good.
absolutely. Don't the scaleless corns have bellies scales too? I believe.
I think micro scales. They have
Yeah.
what do you call them? Subcaudal scales
Which
on their.
which helps them because if you think completely scaleless and they're slithering.
Yes, it's just what a friction burn the whole time. But
Yeah.
yeah, scaleless corns are they do great, but I think the ball pythons are gross looking. Personally, it's something about the eyes, man. Like,
It just looks weird to me.
yeah, yep. I wouldn't.
It
I wouldn't. I never got into the scaleless thing. I had the chance.
mhm.
Yeah, there you go. Have full belly scales, Aurora
Yes,
Exotic.
Aurora Exotics.
I'm
They have
talking
full belly
about.
scales. That's what I thought of. Now I did see the other day that someone produced scaleless false water cobras.
Okay, so I saw the scaleless false, and I saw a full scaleless hooded as well. And I'm curious to see how those will do
Mhm.
because I don't know if they were produced by. I just saw the pictures. I don't know if they were produced by breeders. I don't know if they were found in the wild. I don't know if they were
Yeah.
what. But I'm curious to see how they do in captivity
Mhm.
because truly the reptile. Okay, a scale is made out of multiple layers of keratin, like your fingernail, and
Yep.
underneath of it are roots and nerves. So there's tissue in there, right?
Mhm.
So when a scale gets damaged, that's bad. And if a
Yep.
belly scale gets damaged and then your snake is like on this wet substrate forever and bacteria gets in there, that's how scale rot occurs. Um, just for an example, right? These animals have
Mhm.
scales as an adaptation for a reason. Like they don't have hands and feet and legs and arms to protect themselves.
Anymore.
Yeah, yeah, anymore. And it's this is their like armor. Like that's how I look at it. Like this is their armor. I will say though that I think the scaleless head, like the heterozygous,
Love it.
it's yeah, it's almost like an enhancing mutation. It makes them
Oh,
very
it brightens right
bright.
up.
Yeah, it cleans it really nice.
Mhm.
But that's again that's a mutation. It's like I would only want to keep that in my females because I wouldn't want to put it in my males and be breeding it everywhere and
Yeah.
all that shit. But I could,
I definitely want it, but it's another thing. Again, you have to watch it carefully.
yeah, I'm like project tapped. I have so many projects. Am, I can't take any more on.
Yeah, I'm kind of at that point where, losing that female that we just lost, kind of maybe reevaluate all our projects because she went to my clown and we were going to work on special clowns. So I think I'm shelving my clown stuff for now. I mean, I do have the big guy, but I'm going to focus a lot on my freeway stuff. We have a possible dreamsicle pairing this year that could produce dreams, some killer labs, a lot of freeway, a lot of asphalt stuff. So kind of just
Which,
focus with that for a little bit. And then, I'm also working the Hypoclown project. So, and eventually, what I'll just do is once I get the Hypoclown project really going, then that's when I'll incorporate the clown stuff more.
yeah, yeah, that's gonna get GHI in there. GHI and hypo are like.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. I was eyeballing the other day, and then I'm like, this won't work as well. Somebody had a GHI lesser yellow belly, and I'm just like, ooh, that would go good with my Mojave asphalt. Could you imagine a GHI Mojave freeway? And then John goes, you realize there's lesser in there too?
You're
And
like,
I'm
yeah, you
like,
made all those
yeah,
white
yeah,
snakes
that's fine.
again?
That's fine. He's like, no, no, Kathleen, lesser Mojave. And I'm like, well, fuck.
Yep,
And I'm like,
yep.
no.
So, like, what I did was I bought a lot of single gene females and then visual males.
Mm-hmm.
and then made my own heads, and then made my own visual combos. But
Yeah.
now to the point where I'm doing things like doing a pinstripe yellow belly desert ghost to a pastel leopard pied. So
Yeah.
now I'm double heads with those other codoms in them.
Yeah.
So
See, I did
that's
it a little differently. I bought all super and allelic super females, and
yeah.
then got the visual males and stuff. And then occasionally I would happen upon a visual female I could afford. But I don't like normals, and I can't ID single genes for the fucking life of me. So I'm like, I'm going to avoid normals at all costs, and all my females are going to be allelic supers or supers, and
Fair, fair enough.
90% are or visual recessives. So
So that's a really good way to do it as well. Because so for me personally, right? So I breed my own
yeah,
feeders. I breed
same.
and feed only African soft furs, nothing else. And so my thing is I sell frozen and live to a local pet store and some local keepers and some local breeders. Some
Hmm.
people drive up from Texas to get them from me, and some
Yeah.
people drive down from Oklahoma City to get them from me. And I make enough off my rodents to where they are paying for their bedding, water, electricity, like everything that's theirs,
Hmm.
plus my deli cups, my Reptichip, all my expendable snake stuff.
Hmm.
So to make a snake, I literally only cost me my time as of
Yeah.
right now. So if I, as long as I wasn't making normals, like
Yeah.
there's no loss. So that's a really good thing. Like if you're breeding your own feeders and you're not hitting normals, financially you're always recouping your investment. Which when
Yeah.
it comes to that upgrade is like, I mean, we're not in it for the money, but if you want to breed snakes, you have to be able to, your collection at a minimum, your first goal is you need it to be able to fund itself.
Yeah. We literally, the way we planned it out with our pairings and stuff, we if we had a hit two clutches this year with at least six eggs, the way we specifically pick things and pair things,
Mhm.
we would have made our money back that we purchased all the animals with and then some.
Yeah, that's how to do it, man. I'm telling you, if you do it right, you can make money every year.
Oh yeah. I mean, I also pooped myself that, I bought a $420 proven breeder Mystic Crystal, and I bought a $150 male clown, slashed them together. I'm like, and the only reason I put them together was I didn't want normal heads. I didn't want a normal
Okay.
head clown. So that was like my only female I had that wasn't going to anything. So it's like, I'm gonna put the Mystic Crystal to it, right? Then I don't have to worry. It's easy for me to ID.
Yeah.
I know the difference between a special and a mystic.
Yeah, you get one or the
Oh,
other.
great. And I got no normals. And then after I already started, like Justin dropped his video. And then I'm like, okay, whatever, da 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 da. Not even thinking. Everyone's like, I want one, and I'm like, well, it's just a special hat clown. Like, what? Chris Ward goes, go look the price up on Morph Market.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm thinking like it's a $400, $500 animal at most, and it was like $1,800 USD for a
It
female.
was a $400, $500 animal.
So I'm just like, all right, Kathleen's not holding anything back this year. Kathleen's selling all of those.
Right?
And
See,
next year I'll make mine then. And
I'm,
then
s- I'm
not happening.
still,
But
I'm still a hoarder. I would still hold it back. Like, so the clutch that was just laid yesterday was a
yeah.
pastel lesser desert ghost to a clown head desert ghost.
Ooh,
So I should have DG head clown combos at that.
that's
There's eight eggs,
nice.
right? There's 8 eggs, and someone offered me first. They offered me 20,000 for the clutch, and I was like, no. Like real quick, no.
No.
And then 25, no. 30, no. 35. I hesitated.
I can be bought at this stage of the
Yeah.
game. I can be bought.
At 35, I hesitated and I was like, I'll tell you what, I'll think about it. And so I thought about it for like an hour. And after like an hour, I was like, you know what? Nah, man, I appreciate it, but I'm going to keep the whole clutch.
Yeah, I can be bought very, very easily at this stage of the game. It's not going to take much. You just show me a freeway, I'm going to be like, here you go. I'm easily bought. You give me a male clown with like one gene in it, I'm like, okay. Like,
No, me,
yeah,
man. It's
man, my poor clown. I feel so bad for him. I got him for $150 at 1,300 grams, and I was warned. He's now 1,600 grams, by the way. I've
yeah,
had him
that's
for
cool.
over a year. I was warned. Oh, just so you know, you're its sixth owner, and it's never locked before. And I'm
Huh.
like, whatever. I like clown. It's $150. I'll give it a swing. When I tell you I've never seen a snake that figured out how to escape and go lock with random females.
He got out of his tub and went into a tub with another girl.
Not only that, so he's a regular clown. It was my daughter's pastel, and she had paired him to a Mojave asphalt, and I'm like, oh no. Because if anything comes out that's pastel and norm, it could be het clown.
Yeah, you all know.
And I'm like, that dick. And he sired that clutch the Mystic Crystal had, well, tried to have. So here it's sixth owner, and I got it not only to breed, but like she was laying.
Yeah,
So
there. Sometimes males are stubborn. I still have. How old is that motherfucker? Should be right behind me. I have this pied male. I got back in 2016. Piebald male for like 200 bucks. The fucker didn't breed for me for like 3 years. He didn't breed for me till like 2019. I got him in 2016.
mm-hmm.
Sometimes, and I tried pairing him many, many, many times, and sometimes it just takes them a while. But 3 to 5 years go by, you ain't paying rent, you gotta go, bro.
Yeah.
I run a business. We ain't playing that shit. It sucks to suck.
I mean, I still have him. He's locked to things.
Oh yeah, if he's working, yeah. But
I mean, yeah, he's working. He's nothing fancy. He'll be part of my Hypo Clown project as I'm working on it, and he's a big ass 1,600 gram male. Like,
hell yeah.
I just find it so funny that I was warned. Okay, he may not lock, and I'm like, for $150, I'm gonna take the risk anyways. I'm gonna try it,
Yeah, why not?
and I got him to lock and sire a clutch,
Fuck yeah.
and I'm like, oh, how did my newbie ass get that? I was actually talking. Who was it? I was talking to someone. I can't remember off the top of my head, and they were like, "What do you do differently than most other breeders?" So I'm like, "Fuck up, I don't know." And he goes, "You run ambient temps, so maybe that snake it just is more into ambient.
Maybe.
Maybe I don't know."
That's tough, man. I mean, this is my philosophy. I always just say that I'm gonna show the male and female to each other.
Yeah.
I'm gonna offer them food.
Turn on
Give
some
them
Barry
water.
White.
Yep, I'm gonna do everything I could do, but no matter, I never dictate what my animals do. My animals' actions dictate what I do. So whether they
Yeah.
walk or not, what does my ultrasound say? Like I'm not so much worried about okay. So for me, I usually am never worried about the male locking right
Mm-hmm.
off the rip. I'll be like, okay, I'll ultrasound. There's like 5 millimeter follicles. I'll show her a male. I don't care if they lock or not. I'll show her a male overnight. If they lock, cool. I'll leave them together till they unlock. If not, cool, I'll take them apart and separate them.
Yeah.
And then I'll ultrasound in a month and see if I have anything 10 or plus millimeter follicles in growth at that stage. And if I do, that's
Mhm.
when I'm like, okay, now I need to think, I got to try to get this male to breed.
Yep.
And if I don't, then I'm probably going to try and throw another male in there in a month and see what happens and repeat until I get my desired result. But I don't know, man. If I just keep trying to pair, if they don't pair, I'll give them a few years and you gotta
We're
go,
literally
man.
we're flying by the seat of our pants over here. Like we're just like, yeah, we're just like, let's try it. Let's see if it works.
I mean, that's exactly what I did. I did that for 4 or 5 years. There's no mentorship. No one put out. I think the first dude to put out any like
Mhm.
legitimate, useful information was Gavin Adkins from Balls to You.
There, but here's also that with that too. There's a lot of information on YouTube. There is, but learning in person's a lot different than learning off of a screen.
Yeah,
And
that's that was the
we've had to learn everything off of a screen. We've had to learn how to pop off a screen. I've had to
yeah.
learn how to probe off a screen. I've had to learn everything through a screen, and it's so different. Like I would kill to have that hands-on learning, but
So I've never had the hands-on learning. I didn't learn anything through a screen either. I
yeah,
got I got a phone call sometimes.
yeah.
Other than that, I figured it all out myself. And again, reading Google Scholar.
Google
And so,
Scholar,
yeah, we're just
the
reading.
University of Google.
Yeah, man, because there was no like Gavin was the first one to start putting shit out there on YouTube
Yeah,
for free. Really that I found
well,
anyway. And
true,
then
true,
there's JKR Pro Tips like 10 years
true,
ago.
true story. I learned to probe, and I'm ashamed of this, but it's funny. I learned to probe from a Chris Hardwick video
Don't ever tell
because
anybody that. And don't ever
no,
tell
no,
anybody that.
nobody. Not like this is recorded. I
Oh right.
literally Googled how to probe a steak.
Yeah. I'm not
Yeah, yeah, that's
a
no,
prober
that's
unless I have to.
yeah.
Hip hop.
I quit. Fuck. I'm not proud of myself.
There's
I'm sorry to the community. I'm really sorry. I didn't know.
I didn't know.
I didn't know. Um, I mean, there was limited videos. That was the first thing that popped up.
I was
I
gonna
didn't
say
know
to be fair, that dude's like I don't know if he
the
still does it, but he put out like one video a day for like 5 years.
and
And
he's
so his
like
stuff is
anytime I
always
look up
popping up to the top.
anything, his stuff's on the top. Like he's the
Yeah.
master of Google SEO. Like you put in Melusine Exotics and he's probably going to be the top result. Like honestly.
I was at this so like it's mandatory to take these classes now when you get out of the army because
Yeah.
the US like of the homeless and unemployed population in the United States, the veterans are most of them. It's like 65% of the homeless and unemployed people are like veterans, combat veterans and shit.
Yeah.
And so like now the army makes you take these classes and it's like here's how you write a resume, here's how you fucking do a job interview or whatever. So I'm in this class and they're like Google yourself and see what comes up. Here comes all these fucking pictures of me with snakes and shit and I was like, oh fuck. And I thought it was I've never like
Mhm.
I haven't Googled myself since I was like, Google first came out. And I was like, yeah, all the Brandon Hernandez out there are baseball players or some shit like that.
I
It's not
mean,
players.
could you imagine though having a name like mine that's super uncommon?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yours popped up like
Yeah. Yeah, it pops right up. Well, there's one before me and it's a singer that has my name,
gotcha.
like my real name.
Yeah,
We're not
yeah.
going to say my last name live, but
Okay.
my name.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't
No,
want the
yeah, that's
creepy people
crazy.
to come,
Damn. Now Brandon Hernandez is just like
Mhm.
the same thing as like Brian Smith. Like you can't get it. It's pretty damn common. It might be changing here in the near future. I don't know yet.
Oh,
I think my parents are gonna adopt me finally, and then my name.
yay! You're
My,
finally gonna have a family.
I know, right? And then my last name will be Kinder instead of Hernandez.
So if you like popped out of things, it would be you'd be like a Kinder Surprise.
I guess, yeah. I'm pretty.
Uh-huh.
I would like to think that the thought of me being compared with chocolatey, wafery goodness is
It's not chocolate. It's not chocolate wafer.
Kinder chocolates.
A Kinder Surprise. A Kinder Surprise is those things that are illegal in the States because y'all are too dumb to not eat the toy in the middle.
Yeah, it's a Kinder chocolate with a toy in the middle, right?
It's like dark chocolate with white chocolate, and then
Yeah,
there's an egg in the inside. Yeah,
yeah.
they're illegal in the States.
Yeah, I know. I ate them when I was in Germany.
Yep.
Now Americans, we're pretty fucking. hmm, What's a good way to describe us? Hard-headedly ignorant.
You're pretty likely to eat a giant toy in the middle of a chocolate treat.
A lot of our people, and I love my country. A lot of our
Hmm.
people they tend to eat crayons, and there was this weird thing with the
Leave the
generation.
Marines alone, okay?
Ah, window-looking motherfuckers, and then
John was at the grocery store and like sends me something, and it's a cereal, and it's called Crayola cereal, and he's like, "Should we send this to Antoine?"
oh shit, damn, that'd be fun.
And then
I
John goes, "It's fine. I'm like retired military." He's like, "I'm allowed to say this."
oh no, yeah, it'll be funny. Yeah, no,
Yeah. And I'm like,
yeah, it'd be funny.
he's like, "You can't." He goes, "But I can." He's like, "You."
Antoine is I met him at last Arlington. I was like, holy fuck, that's a big dude. I was
Oh,
like,
I'm so
how
excited.
did you get so big? He's like, I took my vitamins and prayed.
He's coming up to Canada, and I'm not gonna say when because I don't know. Yeah, he's coming up in a few months, and I'm just like, I will drive the 10 hours.
I was supposed to come up to Canada for
We
my
have our first expo.
30th birthday, and I was gonna go to. I already talked to Billy. I was like, my birthday's October 3rd, so I was like, I'll come up there, hang out for the day, and then we'll fly down to Tinley.
Yeah,
And then COVID happened. COVID happened.
COVID
Fuck.
happened. Well, let me just say, if you come, you should come this October 3rd.
I can't. I'll be moving my whole collection and shit like that.
Well, you suck.
Well, I have to breed snakes
We
in my
actually
collection.
have our first expo coming up in a month. They announced it yesterday and put the tickets on sale today.
Oh, shit. That's legit.
Yeah, I'm debating driving the 10 hours. I can't buy anything. I'm too poor. I
What's
can't even really afford to go. But I'm going to drive the 10 hours to go.
you guys have the
CRB.
CRB?
Yeah, they're still talking
Oh,
about
wait,
that in November, but I think it's going to, I don't know how that's going to be, but I
how many
haven't
of
been
those?
to,
How many of those do you have a year? Two or one?
I think that, okay, so I'm new and I've never been to an expo, but I think they have it once a year.
Okay.
But I know like out west, they have a show. Like they have their big show. But the CRBE is our Tinley, but it isn't comparable to Tinley at the same
I
time.
I know, but I think I'm not gonna make it to this one,
Hmm.
but the next year, so 2023, I'm definitely gonna be at both Arlingtons, both Tinleys, CRBE, and the Hom show.
Hmm.
And I think those are probably going to be the only shows I'll be going to.
My goal is to get monetized and use any money I have from the show. Go follow, like, share, and sub, guys, and then go travel the shows.
Oh man, so
I have my hours. I just need the subs.
So I'm not gonna say too much,
Oh.
but Reptile, shameless plug. Reptile Revolution will also be doing some at a point um, traveling up and down the east and west coast and across the U.S. checking out facilities and zoos and things like that.
Yeah.
So that'll be here within the near. When I say
I'd
near
I'd
future,
love I'd love to do that. Realistically, I have 3 children and a John. So,
so yeah,
um,
so 3 children, so 4 children.
3 children and a John.
Yeah, 4 children.
I just got a dirty look as he came down the hallway. Love you.
That's funny.
I mean, he's like a big kid. That's exciting. I mean, let's talk about that though. So that's you and Liz.
Yeah, so me and Liz do Reptile Revolution. If you guys don't know what Reptile Revolution is, it is a video podcast on YouTube, and we're about to get on like the actual podcast app and Spotify as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we do have ball python people on, but we don't typically like to have ball python people on. We have them on because our viewership is mostly ball pythons,
Yep.
and that's
I
and
feel
that's
that.
that's fine. But we are trying to do more wildlife education and conservation. Um, we just did, and so no shit. This is probably, I don't know if it's my favorite or my second favorite, but last Wednesday we did a video with Dr. Lauren Hughes, and she's an exotic animal veterinarian. And we talked about stuff like what should a medical kit consist of that a breeder should have on hand? Where do they get it? How much of it should they have? Dose calc. So
Yeah.
dose calc is, for those of you who don't know, once you mix your antibiotics and your drugs and everything, and you put them in your syringes to freeze them, dose calc will tell you how much of the medicine you need to give your animal, and it goes by the weight of the animal.
Good.
So we talked about stuff like that. We talked about how she goes to breeders' facilities and certifies them, so they're like a vetted reptile breeder.
Yeah.
So their collection, and she'll give them like a flat rate or whatever. She'll be like, okay, so here's $600. I'll do all of your animals for $600 today, and so everyone gets a good look over. I don't know. You can run depending on what you breed, you can run tests for crypto, nido, inclusion body disease, all that shit.
Oh, I wish that was actually so much more common up here.
I know. The States really has that piece on lock, and that video is very helpful. So that is what Reptile Revolution really tries to do. Is we try to talk about, okay, no matter what anyone says to anybody, this is the truth. Every niche in the reptile industry talks shit on the ball python community, but they all agree that the ball python community keeps the entire industry afloat financially. And
oh my god, even like in the lizard community, everybody shits on the beardies. People.
Yeah, it's
the beardies are the ball pythons of the lizard world.
Yeah.
That
It's about the morphology of it all,
I think it's great. I wish that testing stuff was more. I mean, we have it here, but realistically, the last time I looked at it, and it was last year, it was $560 per animal. I'm sorry, but I can't afford $560 to test my animal. I can barely afford $560 per animal to buy it.
So usually, yeah, I don't know. That's Canada. I don't know. I can't tell you. I can't say shit, man.
Yeah.
Because what we do down here has nothing to do with what you guys do.
No, and here's the thing: you could technically buy the kits in the States and have them sent there, but
I was gonna say,
you have to ship them, import and export them, because It's not just the animals that is CITES 2, it's anything of the animal. So sheds are CITES 2. Any bio stuff like any biohazard stuff basically from the animals, it has to be shipped as CITES 2,
Yeah,
which
that
is what I've learned.
super sucks. Because
Yeah.
again, I'm someone who does everything myself, so I just do it all
I just like
myself.
to know, you know,
Yeah,
to
yeah,
be on the
no,
same
I know,
page.
100%. It's so. I mean, if you think about it, okay, this is how I am. My animals are vetted.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my not only are my animals vetted, so I'm guaranteeing you a healthy animal. My
Yep.
animals come with certificates of authenticity that tells you the dame, the sire, the dame's hatch date, the sire's hatch date, the dame's genetics, the sire's genetics, all the locks, the hatchling you're buying, that hatchling serial number, its mom's serial number, its dad's serial number, the
Yeah.
genetics in it, and then you get a big picture of that hatchling on a scale the day I ship it, so you'll know exactly what its weight is. And then above it says I, has my name bold and underlined.
Yeah.
I'm selling you an animal guaranteeing sex, genetic, and all, the whole spiel. And then on the bottom, I sign and date it, and then on the back, and it's laminated. And on the
Yeah.
back of that is a general ball python like care guide sheet as well.
Look
So
at you
I
ancestry.comming it up over there.
right? So I give you genetics, lineage, sex, health guaranteed coming from me, a breeder who is professional and vetted. With that being said, my animals aren't fucking cheap, and that's why.
Nope.
Like not sorry. You're
No.
you're gonna pay, and I get it. Like you're getting what you're paying for.
Mm-hmm.
100%. And if
Absolutely.
anything is wrong with that animal that violates what is in my certificate of authenticity,
Mm-hmm.
I'll fix it. And in my store policy on Morph Market, it tells you every which way I can fix it. I
Yep.
will let you keep the animal, and if it was a $600 animal, I'll give you $600 towards another animal of
Mm-hmm.
mine, or I'll refund you the money, but you have to ship me the animal back. And there's a few different ways we could work it, but I'll
You're
always make it
flexible.
right. Yeah, I'll always make it right. But
Mm-hmm.
I've never ever had to do that before because, and I mean, I'm not saying I never will. So I'm not perfect. Sometimes shit will happen, but I am that. My attention to detail is that fucking serious, and I'm really good friends with my vet. That's another big thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
See, where I live, there's one vet in the province that will handle exotics, and it's not even all exotics. So
I know that there's a shortage in the exotic veterinary field
yeah,
right now. Not a lot of people want to get into it
my
because
my 7-year-old wants to be it. She watches Dr. K, and she's like, I want to be exotic vet when I grow up.
Kelleher,
Yeah,
Dr. Kelleher, that's her name, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I know who she is.
yeah. She has a TV show.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I've never watched it, but I know she has a TV show, but I know who Dr. K is. Yeah,
Yeah, she has a TV show.
I
It's
know
literally on
her.
Disney Plus. My daughter watches it all the
See,
time.
I have to think fun. I don't. So I am one person,
Yeah.
and I run a rat business, a snake business, and I do the marketing, the sale. I'm just too.
Well,
I'm
I mean, I
spread.
have to look and see what my kids are watching.
Yeah. See, I just don't have that.
And we can tell the 1-year-old's going to be big into animals because I was cleaning out a bin one day and like just in the hallway and she just walks over. So this is a 1-year-old, and when I say my 1-year-old, like she is also petite for her age. Like she's in like 6 to 9 month clothes, so she's petite. My dog, who is a shepherd, corgi poodle mix, weighs more than her.
That's a
Okay,
hell of a genetic mix. Jesus Christ.
if he was awake, I'd show you him because he's the weirdest looking dog in my life, but he's cute. So, anyways, um, also shut up, Corey. Anyways, I'm cleaning the bin, and she's like all of 20 pounds soaking wet. Just comes over, grabs the 1,200 gram female, walks down the hall going snaky, snaky. 1 years old. Now, luckily, it was one of my better females, not the feisty ones. She just,
Yeah, yeah.
ball pythoned it up and turned into a ball. My concern was not the 1-year-old. My concern was the 1-year-old dropping the ball python. So I'm like, no, no, give the snakey to mommy. Just no fear. Just like grabs it. The
Well,
snake's bigger than her, and down the hall she goes.
so I have a girlfriend who has kids.
Yeah.
So I've read a few so I've read a few child books,
I'm just
parenting
gonna
with
put him in
PTSD.
timeout. We'll just put him in timeout. Okay, that's
Blocked for 5 minutes, damn. Um, so I've read parenting with PTSD and a whole bunch of
yeah.
other shit. So here's something I learned about children in the child psychology, right? And this is going to make 100% sense on what just happened. So
Yeah.
kids, okay. So first I have to explain what fear is so people understand this.
Mhm.
So fear is the human's first natural response to keep ourselves alive, and it is
Mhm.
a learned trait.
Yep.
It is not a natural trait. That's why some people are afraid of certain things and some people are not. So, babies, children, right,
Yep.
are born without fear. Kids don't have fear because it's a learned trait. They
Mhm.
haven't learned what to be afraid of. So, there's a study done where they put all these kids in a room with a ball python, like a snake,
Yeah.
and I think a corn snake or something else, like some other little small snake, something
Yep.
harmless, and a piglet, and a puppy, and I think a baby chick and a baby duck. And
The ball python ate the baby chick. Okay.
so, so the what ended up happening is the babies played with all of the animals because they don't know that in today's society, and I'm talking societal norms, okay? We
Yeah.
eat pigs, we eat chickens, dogs are pets,
Mhm.
snakes are widely regarded as a pest
Yeah.
because people are ignorant. And so, but they played with all the animals because they don't know that the dog can one day grow up and bite them.
Mhm.
The pig can one day grow up and bite through their bone. The
Mhm.
chicken can pluck their eyes out. The snakes absolutely will not hurt them in any way, shape, or form. But they play, they play with all of the animals because they don't understand
Oh yeah.
fear yet. And so that's probably it's a good thing that you're making that a norm for your kids.
Oh yeah. And I mean, we do have rules too, and we try to follow. It's so funny because when we first started getting the reptiles, my daughter was, my oldest daughter was a lot younger, and we told her, you're not allowed to handle the reptiles unless another person's present. Didn't matter what it was.
Yeah.
Well, she then got to the point that if I tried to handle something, she's like, "You're not allowed to handle a reptile unless another adult's present, mom."
Hmm.
So I'm like,
The rules.
but then that's also good safety practice too, because you never know when something could happen. Anyways, so whatever. Like we're watching right now. We're snake sitting. I was gonna say babysitting. We're snake sitting a boa, and she's a decent large size. We didn't raise her, so she doesn't really know our smells and scents right now, and things like that. I'm not gonna let the kids handle her, because just that would stress her out,
Yeah.
you know. And I have animals that the kids do not handle, and I have animals the kids do handle because I know which ones are cranky ass bitches.
Yeah, yeah, of course, of course.
And then the good ones. Scarlett's thing, but again, she's 7. She's got OCD, or she's got not OCD. She has ODD, ADHD, and she has 2-type autism. She has sensory autism and Asperger's. Her thing right now is a sensory issue with reptile tongues. She doesn't like it when the reptile tongues flick. So she's been having a hard time holding them again because every time she holds them, for some reason, the snakes always go for her ears and then start like, you know,
So yeah, they're smelling. Yeah.
they're smelling her ears, and it just is an over sensory load for her.
Yeah, I mean, well, the snakes just see this big warm heat signature, so they're just trying to figure out what that is. You
Yeah.
know?
But
And
for her, it's
her,
just a.
that's
And
rough.
sometimes with the bigger snakes too, she's not a fan because of the weight of it.
Yeah, big snakes, man. People never know until they
Well, I
until you
mean, not big snakes as in like big snakes. I
like a
mean,
berm. I
like
know.
a big like a adult
What's
ball
at
python
seven
for a
at 7 years
7-year-old.
old?
A
Yeah, I was gonna
adult.
say. Yeah, that is a big snake for a 7-year-old.
She's on the way. But then the friggin' 1-year-old just walking down the hall with the 12-gram ball python. I'm just like, no, don't drop my snake.
I know, man.
And she's going like she doesn't really say mom or dad, but that child damn well knows the word snaky.
That's awesome.
We
I,
try. We really try. Scarlett loves it. She's started pairing at 6.
that's
Picks her own
legit.
pairings out. Yeah. She's gonna hit a clutch before me, watch. I mean a real clutch, not like my crappy clutch there that happened. But like she's gonna have eggs before I do. You
That's
just
fucked.
watch.
I feel
You
like
just watch.
no, it's fine.
Oh, he's back. Why we're on this, I meant to do this earlier in the show. I started this really cool new segment that I think is good because there's a lot of crap in the community right now. And I think I've been doing Positivity Tuesdays where I get people to nominate people and I share stories. And it was so great. So I think I'm going to start doing this on this show. So I asked people to nominate someone who they think is a positive little ray of sunshine in the community. And this week, a lot of people nominated Chino from DMJ Reptiles. His links are going to be
Yeah,
all down there.
he knows the
Um,
man.
Chino does. I love Chino. Chino is always willing to help people. Shut up, Dylan. I'll put you in timeout too, and you, Corey. Anyways, Chino does so many fundraisers for the community. If you need anything, Chino's there for you. If it wasn't for Chino, well, one of the reasons we'll get to that later, but Chino is part of the reason I'm even on YouTube right now. So shout out to Chino at DMJ Reptiles.
Yeah, Chino's the man. I fucking love that guy. For real. That guy, he's the real fucking deal, man.
I messaged him when I first started doing. I had this idea. It was the reason why I messaged you and you left me on read. You will never live that down, by the way. It's fine. So I had this idea of doing a mentor series and a new breeder series on IG, and that was like going to be my little thing because I felt like a lot of little breeders in the community have a hard time getting their names out there. You don't see them
It's
on
hard.
lives. So I wanted to do that. And then Mentor was just, I wanted an excuse to try to get people to talk to me and teach me things. And I'm still doing those. So I messaged him. He's like, why are you doing this on Instagram? And I'm like, because I don't want to be on YouTube. And he's like, here's my cell phone number. Call me right now and we're
Yeah,
going to talk about it. And I'm like,
YouTube.
I'm in Canada. And he's like, don't care. So I had to
Yeah,
download an app to make a phone number to call him.
for real. They don't just go through.
No, I could call him, but it's like 35 cents a minute.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. It's an international phone call. I can text.
I know it's an international phone call, but
Yeah, I can text. Not a problem.
that's
Yeah.
crazy. I feel like I can call people from Canada no problem. Oh, you know what? I think it's because when I got the cell phone plan I have now, I was still in the army, so I needed international calling.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
actually pay for a feature I'm not using. Thank you. I need to call Verizon tomorrow and fuck. The snake money going down the goddamn drain. That's what that shit is.
But yeah, I just wanted to spotlight Chino, because he's a little ray of sunshine. We love Chino.
Chino, if I could, I would love to build that man a house. like
And a big yard for his discount chicken.
yeah, and like huge rooms for all of his kids. And I would love to do that for that guy, somewhere in like North Carolina, South Carolina,
Yeah.
because you don't want to live in New York. Nobody wants
Yep.
to live in New York. Fuck that place.
And I love him a little more too because he's also an autism parent, and
Yeah,
I find that's very common in this community.
I was
There's a
gonna say
lot of autism parents.
there's a few of them, man. I see see it more and more, like every week.
It definitely is getting common.
Yeah,
So
I see new people like that all the time. Like when people follow me, I always go check out their account.
yeah,
And so this is the real shit right here. Here's the tea.
took you forever to get you to follow me, Jesus.
So yeah, right. So when people follow me, I'll go look at their account, and I'll straight up look at their content.
Mm-hmm.
And if I literally don't enjoy their content, I won't follow them. 100%.
Ouch.
Yep, I told you, that's the tea, that's the real shit. So, but listen, over time, your content got better.
No, well, I mean, I got more
You got the
snakes and
follow.
got the snakes, got the
Yep.
show going because all my content's literally is ads for the show, some snake stuff when I remember because I got a whole whack of kids, and let's be honest, I forget to take pictures of my own children sometimes, let alone my animals.
Yeah, I need to take a picture.
And if I do post pictures with animals, 9 times out of 10, it's pictures of my kids holding animals. It's a
Yeah.
2-for-1.
Yeah, all right, kids. Hashtag kids with snakes.
Kids with snakes,
All right. So, yeah, no, I feel you. Social media is
a beast.
a fucking job. Yeah, like I'm not going to lie, I dread a lot of, no, I don't dread it, but I hate making content because I'm so busy that I'm never like, okay, I'm pooping and making content. I'm eating and making content. I'm showering and thinking about when I get out of the shower, what snake am I going to photograph tomorrow? Or what snake am I going to photograph today? Or whatever it's going to be.
Yep.
So it's like, and my engagement rate is low and my follower gain is like non-existent because it's hatchling season. So I've just been posting and then running away. Like I'll post something and then like I won't be on Instagram for like 3 days.
Yep.
And then I'll get on Instagram and then I'll catch up on all my comments, DMs, posts and do it again.
I have a better time doing pictures so if John and I are cleaning or spot cleaning together, like I have a better time because he can hold like the animal, so I can do like, okay, stand here against this bare wall with the animal in your hand, take a picture. Versus me, I have taken care of the kids all day because he works evenings, 5 to 2.
Yeah.
I put the kids to bed. I'm doing a quick spot check because I'm the fuck tired and I won't go bed.
Yeah, of course.
Like, I got my mother-in-law yelling at me because I don't send enough pictures of my children. I think the baby's got 5 pictures from the time she was born to now.
That's crazy, dude.
Oh,
yeah, people are.
man.
I
would just like to state out loud, it's not July 25th right now, so zip it.
But it's out and everyone knows now.
It's not July. We're just gonna.
Just hit that bottle one time. No, I feel you. It's a lot. Social media is a beast, and it's. I mean, you're talking about how do smaller breeders get their name out there. So here's the secret. Here's the secrets. So
don't do what Kathleen does.
First is your content must be 2 things in one: good and consistent. So it's consistently good. So if you go on my Instagram and you look at my Instagram, you're gonna see a fuck ton of snakes with the Oodles A Noodles like word mark logo or whatever, and they're all in like a perfectly black background, right? But if you scroll backwards, you'll see shittier pictures of snakes on a white background. And if you scroll further, you'll see me with like snakes, and I'm holding it with my hand, and I'm outside in my
Yeah.
backyard. It's sunny out, so you'll see where my content starts, and you'll see where it is now.
Mm-hmm.
And I have somewhere like 4,800 followers or something, so not huge, but like I'm just now figuring out my content, what is good.
Yeah.
So how to make my content good for me. So
Mm-hmm.
then consistently. Next. All right. Your hashtags on Instagram, right?
Okay.
Hashtags are your searchable
Mm-hmm.
sites. So you can do up to 30 hashtags on one post, right?
Yep.
You can also drop hashtags in story posts as
Yes,
well.
you can.
That helps a lot. Utilizing the live feature helps a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's the thing. The more features you use, the better. IGTV,
Yeah.
short live clips, small videos,
And I
reels.
know the Instagram algorithm loves when you post more than one picture at a time, so you have to swipe.
Yeah,
They want
and
at
then
least two.
bright snakes, like brighter photos, do a lot better than the
Yeah.
dark stuff. I notice. But your hashtags, there's no rules. Um, so you could put, if I put a picture of a
Literally on your phone, make a section and three sections of like three possible bunch of hashtags you use, because that's what I do.
I
I
say
got
one in
that
my head.
advice from Costco, actually.
Yeah,
And copy paste, and make a hashtag for your business too. Didn't know that.
yeah. If you look at every single one of my posts, the last hashtag is always Oodles and Noodles.
Yeah, have you the hashtags on this kid right here, or not the
Mhm.
hashtags, the reels?
Yeah,
He's hitting like the millions.
yeah. So Reels, and so Zuckerberg pretty much owns everything these days.
Yeah.
But most of the push has been towards Reels, but away from Instagram and Facebook and more towards TikTok. That seems to be the
I do better with reels on Instagram versus like the same thing. So I'll make it on TikTok, save it, and just re upload it to Instagram. I had one and I was excited. It hit 4.3K views. And I'm like, woohoo, look at me go. Like, I'm
fuck
excited. I'm
yeah.
going viral, bitches. Um, and then Corey pops in, I hit 1 million. And I'm like, shut up, minor. Um, anyways, the same video on TikTok, 46 views.
So I don't have TikTok. I
Get it?
don't. I don't. No, and
I
I
make
don't.
fabulous content. I'm hysterical.
And I don't. I've never done a reel. The only videos I ever do are 100% purely education. That's just how I've always wanted to brand and market myself
Yeah.
and get my content. So I just did it was about a minute and 10 seconds long, something like that, video about how to separate the embryonic sac from the platelet cells in the on the eggshell on the inside while cutting the egg. And I literally showed like how to pinch and roll it, separate it, cut it, pulled it apart, and you literally saw the veins in the embryonic sac slowly peel right off.
Mm.
So it's small stuff like that where I'll show like a video like here's a male, here's two scales on his cloacal vent.
Yep.
One scale is missing. That means that's the hemipene that he used for copulation because it's
Mm-hmm.
rolled out and retracted back in. So, like, I just try to do um, educational content and things like that. But whatever works for you, like, however you're going to brand yourself, regardless of how many views you're getting, how many likes you're getting, shares, saves, whatever.
Yep.
Because how you are trying to brand yourself will attract the people that are trying to
See,
that you want to attract.
I don't think
Basically.
I got branded. Like I branded myself. I think people branded me. I am the
That's
snake mom.
that's
And I'm
a,
like, all right, first season breeder here. Yeah, let's call me the snake mom because I know what I'm talking about.
if it works, man. And however you do it, fucking stick to it, be consistent, and run with it. Because I'll tell you, I have clients. So whenever I hatch a clutch, I get first pick obviously, and then my clients, and then it'll go to social media, right?
Mm-hmm.
Once it goes to like Instagram, which I give my Instagram followers a better deal than I would the public. It
Yeah.
doesn't sell there, then it goes to Morph Market and it'll sell. But
Mm-hmm.
usually it never makes it to Morph. I think I have like less than 10 snakes on Morph Market. Like snakes very rarely make it there. Um,
See, that's what I worry about, when it comes time for me to start selling.
it's easy to sell snakes. I
Because
can't keep them.
I'm so new. But then, like, I've had this conversation when Antoine was on. And he's like, you're going to have no problem because even though you're doing these shows for you and for fun, people have, what did he say? People trust and respect you and they've seen your learning process. So you're going to have no issue selling anything. And I'm like,
Yeah, you're transparent from start to present.
yeah,
There's
I
nothing.
mean, I talked about my snake hemorrhaging took me a few days because I needed to grieve, but. So wait, what?
I'm on clutch
Oh,
with
Corey,
siblings.
there's like 28 of them. They're all homeschooled. I give him a hard time. He's such a great kid. That kid's 15, already's getting clutches, has interviewed some of the biggest names in the industry, and is hitting 4.4 million likes on Reels.
Yes, that's legit.
Hashtag shut up minor.
Right? Yeah, familiarity does mean a lot in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I just keep my content consistent. I cannot keep inventory. Like I just hatched, 600 snakes this year, so how many do I have left? Less than 30. And that's
Mm-hmm.
only because they're not established and ready to go. Like I can't I don't have a large following and I'm not doing a lot. But
Yeah.
like clients, friends, Instagram and rarely do they ever like make it to fucking Morph Market. It's
I
crazy.
I will say though, being in being, this is we're finishing up our first season. It wasn't that great. If it wasn't for the people I have met, man, there's no way I should be able to pull like freeways at this stage and dreamsicles. Like I could have got them this year, they just didn't go. Like, freeways, dreamsicles, asphalt stuff. Like I shouldn't be able to do that. But look at me.
This is a good community.
It is. I love it. I can't believe I almost finished my whole bottle of wine. That's insane.
Well, that's what's up. That's awesome. Fucking yeah, I love this community. It's really good. Um, I really
There's good and bad. I mean, it's a family. There's going to be drama from time to time. Brother and sister are going to fight, you know. It,
I I don't know, man. I love the ball python community. I think there's a lot of dumb
oh,
shit,
I love it too,
but I just
but
love it so
but
much.
occasionally there's going to be, there's some drama
So
sometimes,
yeah,
but it's a family.
I just never get involved. And like I've also and so I don't know if I'm doing something wrong or what. I've never had someone throw hate my way
I have.
ever. And I don't. I mean, I'm glad, I guess, but I don't. But I think it's because I'm not very interactive.
Mhm.
I'm very secluded. I don't like to. Like again, if someone has questions or they need help, if they
Yeah.
ask, I'll come out of my shell and help them.
Mhm.
But then I go back in my shell and I'm like, all right, you can't. You gotta
Oh
go.
man, I've
Like
had
that's
it.
it.
I've had it before. You get the occasional bully, which happens. You have the keyboard warriors on your YouTube
That's well, I
videos.
see that more than anything on other people's shit.
Oh man, I literally have one guy, and for some reason he wouldn't drop it, and he kept posting on my videos. He's like, "Is it true you bashed the head?" If someone like, "Did you bash the head in on your snake because it bit you?" And I'm like,
Okay, that's weird. Weird question
I'm
to ask.
like, one, even if that was true, ow, like, because it'd be biting me. So what am I doing? Like, bashing it on my arm? Like, it just physically wouldn't be a good, like, way to do it, you know?
People, I don't
Two,
know.
it's biting you, just grab a little bit of Listerine, dribble it down your arm, like pop it out. Learned that trick from Kevin McCurley.
I don't do anything. I just leave it be. I just be like,
I've
oh, you know what?
only I've only been bitten wrapped once, and it was like a 360-gram super fire who thought she was all that in a bag of chips.
Yeah,
And she grabbed me and wrapped, and she barely could wrap around. And I'm like,
I'm taking some mean bites. I'm taking
I
mean
got
treatments.
tagged right here, like at the base of my throat.
I got bit in my eye, my nose. I like how
My arms a
I got
lot.
the right corner of my lip got it once. I was like, oh shit.
90% of my bites are usually from like moving them from like right after transport. So like when you're opening the snake bag or you're putting them in like a bin or like, you're setting them up. Like that's when
Yeah,
90% of my bites happen.
mine happened
Or
during. They come flying out these flying like I need to
or
start using hook and tongs.
oh my god, or like, when a female's building and she's in that food crazy period of her life.
I love them when they're not crazy.
I literally found the best use for receiving blankets in my life. Never use them for my kids, but I'm kind of like over there going like, ole, like,
Oh yeah, being a fucking bullfighter and shit.
yeah, because for some reason, like, it's not heavy. Receiving blanket's super light, but if they're coming at you, you literally just whoop, drop it on their heads, and they just stop.
Most people I know just take the
Paper towel tube.
roll of paper towel, yeah, and just
Yeah, but it's so much easier with the receiving blanket, right?
I
It's a
just
wider area.
I don't do anything. Usually I just avoid the bite, and as soon as I avoid the bite, I don't hesitate. I immediately throw my hand over their head.
So
So I use my hand as the bag, I guess.
our first year having snakes, I bought this beautiful pastel lesser proven breeder, and she was 6'3", stretched out, just this big, massive girl.
That's a big girl.
Oh yeah, and let me tell you, like, if you did not feed her medium or large, just she was she was big, like wasn't just overweight, like she was just big. If you didn't feed her medium or larges and tried to feed her like the standard, like this weight should only eat this size brat, she would be so aggressive it wasn't even funny.
Oh, I bet.
Oh yeah, like you couldn't
I'm
feed
a
her
crazy
small.
food person. Crazy food person.
But I ended up having to sell her because John was so like, and he's the snake guy. He's the reason we got into snakes. He's the one that's like, who's a too little snaky. Like he doesn't care. He was the one who's like, I can't with her anymore. Like we gotta sell her. I can't. I'm terrified
That's
of her.
wild.
Because
I
because he would sit there and hold the rat and she'd be like, fuck the rat, I'm coming for your face.
oh, I gotcha.
And he would shove the rat in her face and she would literally smack it and keep going for his face. So yeah, I was very sad to sell her.
That's fucked. I would have just. I don't know, man. I've been like,
Well, it's not like I could have hit her.
yeah,
Like,
I would have just been like, you
oh, we
gotta
had
go.
her for a few months. I was thinking she was building or something and she would calm down, and we were in the process of moving, and John's just like, look, we're moving anyways. He's like, just sell her. I can't anymore with this one. Like, he's like, I'd rather take an anaconda, fight with an anaconda than her.
Fuck that. I know how heavy an anaconda is. The fuckers are serious. Like you never think like because they look so cool or whatever. But when you put a fully grown anaconda or berm, like a heavy
Mhm.
bodied large snake
Mhm.
on your body, you're like, holy fuck. It's heavy. What's shitty is it's heavy everywhere. So like you have to use all of your body to hold all of its body, and it fucking
Mhm.
sucks. I'd rather take the ball python.
John's tried to do that.
Good thing. Let's see.
The good thing with me is, let me see if
Ah,
I can find another thing with my wife finding him. John's tried to do that.
my girlfriend's like, dude, just do whatever the fuck you want. I can do
Okay.
whatever I want. I'm lucky.
I love John, but he's really bad at buying snakes.
Are you bad at buying snakes, man? Just get money and take my money, give me snakes.
Oh, I'm in trouble. You know how you're bad at buying snakes, and I have to usually message the breeder after you and correct it or go buy another snake for it to make sense. He's just like, ooh, pretty.
Yeah,
And then meanwhile, the snake makes no fucking sense, like
yeah,
a
you
single gene banana
can't.
male.
Yeah, you can't buy snakes because they're visually appealing. You have to
Oh no, no, no.
buy genetically.
I told my friends in Canada, do not sell him snakes. Like message me and double check. I love you. You popped out of nowheres. I thought you were sleeping. Mr. John, who will not come on screen.
I can hear them in the background a little bit.
Go suck yourself.
Yeah, boy.
You're not supposed to catch. Ah, I tried to throw something at his head and he caught it. Oh my god. He's
All
so
right, that killer instinct.
the killer instinct. Yeah,
Killer instinct.
that's what X amount of years in the infantry and engineering will do for you.
Oh yeah. See, so all my crazy females, straight up, all my crazy snakes,
Oh.
I love them. That's actually a genotype I specifically breed for. They
Yeah.
tend to eat better, and because of that, they end up bigger. So my clutch
Oh
sizes are
my
larger.
god, my Mystic
And
Crystal that passed, she was insane. Like she would go from my John would pick her up and she'd be like, chill. I go to like open the bin to like, see if she needed water. She's instantly like, fuck off, bitch. Like boom. Someone asked to see her on a live, and it was one of the first lives I got invited on to do. And I was just so excited that somebody knew a steak I had that I was like, sure,
yeah,
let me show you this 4,000 gram Mr. Crystal who hates me. And I held her up, and she literally struck, like, she did the pull back of the neck
yeah,
right before they go. And I'm like, you
no,
seen her? Goodbye.
yeah, man.
Goodbye. God, I miss her. I really do.
Man, I think it's about time for me to start doing the genetic upgrade. I have a few 1 and 2 gene females that I don't know why I still have them. Just like I said, because on paper, financially, it
Mm-hmm.
never makes sense to get rid of a breeder female. It's just one
No.
less clutch you're gonna have. But these girls are not. I'm a very boutique style breeder. Like my clutches are
But
like,
you know what's great about that too? Because coming from someone like you who's gonna sell, if you sell a proven breeder, you're not just selling a proven breeder because she like was over it, like she slacked off, whatever.
oh
You're
yeah,
gonna sell her because you don't need her genetically anymore.
yeah, that's
Some
exactly why. Not because anything's wrong with her.
go to see. You're gonna wake up your sister. Sometimes it's nice. You never know. There could be someone who's starting out, and kind of
That's what
give
they
them a
need.
boost.
Yeah.
Because
So
I know I bought a few proven breeders for the fact that, hey, I'm going to watch and observe them because they've already bred before. They know what they're doing. I'm just going to watch them and see what they do while I raise my stuff.
and
Right?
that's what my buddy Tyler did. He bought a bunch of proven breeder single gene stuff, and he wanted to start breeding. And I mentored him through the process. So
Mm-hmm.
he bought his first couple snakes from me, raised them to like yearling subadulthood, bought some
Yeah.
proven breeders,
Yeah.
got a few clutches, got his feet wet. It was a good build and transition for him to learn that stuff. And I get that. So I mean, I know my single gene and 2 gene females that are not het for anything will go to someone who can use them because they are starting out. So they need that experience because you don't know how to cut an egg till you cut an egg. You don't
Mm-hmm.
know how to pull a clutch till you pull a clutch.
Yep.
Like you said, that hands-on learning. So I know those females will go to use somewhere. I just don't.
Or there could be someone like my daughter who's 7 and wants to breed right now,
There's
and she doesn't want to wait till she's 10,
quite a
right?
few of those. Yeah, quite a few of those.
She doesn't want
There's
to wait till she's 10. She's annoyed enough. Like I refuse to buy her female pieds because she's got a yellow belly het pied, 50% het laugh. I refuse to buy her pieds. If anybody's getting a female pied, it's going to be me, right?
I
You
would.
have time. I'm old. I could die soon. Like,
So I would tell her, you have snakes to breed. Breed your snakes, sell your snakes, reinvest your clutch money.
that's what I've been telling her.
That's what I
But
would do.
she also thought she could buy a female puzzle from Will Rose for $15.
Doubt it. Not even $1,500.
Oh no, she was on, like, she did a live for her birthday and she was answering questions, and it was one of the most populated lives I did. And somebody had asked her a question, what projects you want to get into, and she's like, I want a female puzzle from Will Rose. And I'm like, oh, good luck. And she's like, yeah. She goes, I'm going to buy him. And I'm like, with what money? She goes, my birthday money. And I'm like, it's $15. She goes, yeah, so. And I'm like, all right, you go ahead and message Will and he's going to tell you no. And she goes, no. She goes, because I'm going to tell him if he says no, I'm going to get very, very cranky.
Yeah, but no one has to deal with that but you.
So I messaged Will and I was like, hey, buddy. He's like, what's up? And I'm like, can you talk to my kid for a minute? He's like, why? I'm like, she wants to buy a female puzzle for you for $15. He's like, why are you making me be the bad guy?
Right?
And I'm like, because I tried to tell her no.
I think I paid $2,500 for mine. And I think that was like, and I normally don't throw numbers out there, and I won't tell you who I got it from, but I think that's still pretty cheap.
Yeah.
You know,
she's got her big dream project right now is doing fire bamboo freeways.
I'd like to see how that looks.
It's never been done.
I know.
She came up with it all on her own, and I'm just like, I just don't think it's gonna look the way it looks. And then Chris Ward yelled at me and said, stop telling her not to do things.
Yeah, let her do whatever she wants. You never know how it'll look until it comes out, you know?
I've seen a fire bamboo. I know what freeway does to stuff. I don't think it's going to look good, but, whatever.
So I'm picking up what you're putting down, but I went to Wilbanks, did a tour of Wilbanks' facility, and he has some sweet bamboo combos where the pattern is actually manipulated.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, yeah, that's what's up. So stuff like calico, I think pinstripe.
Sugar, because I know Nicole with Canadian Regis works with bamboo, and her bamboo stuff's phenomenal. She works with, like, sugar.
Yeah.
And
put that on
her bamboo stuff, man, if you haven't seen it, go look at it.
Yeah, I follow her.
Oh, I know. She cut a clutch in Chris's Discord of bamboos, and of course Scarlett watched it, and now Scarlett's on me to buy the pastel bamboo female from it.
I just held back a female pewter bamboo head clown I hatched out. So that's the route that I'm taking, the bamboo. Because I think Miguel's made some really badass bamboo stuff. As a matter of fact, Anna Kirby has a really nice looking fire bamboo clown that came from Justin's stuff. So bamboo, and that's clown. So there's some stuff that can manipulate the bamboo pattern, but I will not disagree with you that it has what I call champagne syndrome, where it's so strong it overpowers most everything else. So you have to find what manipulates the bamboo itself. And so far from what I've seen, calico sugar, clown, and even cinnamon, even my pewter bamboo.
Yeah, black pastel looks really nice in it.
My pewter bamboo's not like, they look okay. Bamboos are just clear pink worms out of the egg. You won't see it become a bamboo, and honestly, until it's like 2 years old. Yeah, that's when it really looks.
She thinks they're gonna come out like stay these cute little pink and gray things, and I'm like, no, honey, no. She's
swear to
so
God,
good at IDing too. Like you wouldn't believe.
I have seen some nice. Okay, 4S. Females without heads can always go to visual males to make your own heads.
Okay,
This
but
is
here's the
very
thing.
true.
I'm not gonna buy the 7-year-old visual males either. Because
So
anybody's getting them. Mom.
this is what I'm saying is been there, done that,
Mm-hmm.
have the combos, and now
Mm-hmm.
combos, now things are. This is where I'm at. So I have stuff that's like
Yeah.
Lemon Blast Double Het DG Clown growing up. In that I made the DG and clowns, and
Mm-hmm.
I did all that myself by breeding, making heads, and breeding back. I started. So when I started, I had like a Mojave Lesser Belle. These are all females.
Yeah.
A GHI Mojave, a normal, a pastel, a pinstripe, a fire, and an Enchi. And that was it. And I bought a Desert Ghost male. And that's what I started everything with.
That's actually what happens, but then she told me that I can buy the leftover animals. My 7-year-old.
I'm a very hard knocks life kind of guy. I'd be like, you are using your clutch money to reinvest. Like that's how you're gonna do
Oh
this.
no, that's definitely what it is. We're gonna take half of what she makes and put it in an RESP or an RDSP, which is a registered disability savings plan, and then the rest will go into like the family fund, like the family snake fund. So that way, like, if we have to buy rats in between litters, because that happens, right? Sometimes, if they need bedding or she wants to buy new snakes, that stuff.
Oh yeah, 100%. I always have this weird. My budget is I budget every penny.
Yeah.
So like when I say every penny, I mean like I put I don't know what the right name for them is, but they're like a cloth that's like a screen, like a window screen, but it's a cloth and it goes over a paint pan. So if you drop something in your paint pan, you can just lift it out without
Yeah.
call it like cheesecloth. So like those are what I use for water filters in my rat's water bucket system for my rodents, and like they're literally like 20 cents a fucking cheesecloth, and that's calculated into my
I have
budget.
to make a zipper. We're getting to the point that I need to start I need to make a zipper system and stop doing the fucking water bottle on the side of the enclosure.
So yeah, the water bottle for the volume I'm at is 100. I've never done it,
Yeah.
but it's 100% unrealistic for me. It's always been because once I think I figured out once I had 11 snakes, I was like, okay, it is now going to be the same for me to breed as it is to buy. So I'm going to start breeding as I'm buying, and that sucked. And it took me a year to get my ASF colonies up to production.
Yeah.
But now I'm just like, I breed and feed only ASFs. I have the gravity fed water system.
I want to try ASFs. They're technically illegal here, but you can buy them at the pet store as African white winter white African mice.
Yeah, I know some people call
for
them like
$21.99.
people will be like, this is like a Norwegian hamster. They'll like be like, yeah, look at my Norwegian.
I looked at them and I'm like, is that a fucking ASF? And then the owner was like, yeah, that's what we have to call them.
Yeah, Norwegian
and
hamster.
I'm like, you like, are these coming from like a pet breeder? Like, are these, because they can have temperament sometimes if they haven't been bred correctly.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they can be nasty. So that's my thoughts, right? I'm like,
oh yeah, fucking. So my ASFs, I can like go in there, pick up the babies from the mom. Totally good. I'll never get fucked up from my ASFs.
Yeah.
I keep them all on hemp bedding. My biggest thing, man, I spent like a lot of time on the phone yesterday. Wait, what is today? Saturday? I spent a lot of time on the phone Wednesday or Thursday. I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
I think Thursday with CJ and Saz. So swamp water and black tie royals, and we talked about ASFs, and I was talking about maximizing rodent production and stuff,
Yeah.
and I was like, they have the rack system, so I'm like, if you touch the bottom of your tub, I bet it's like super duper hot. And he's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it is. I never did that, and so a lot of people have issues with breeding ASS where the babies are being eaten and they're trying different nutrition supplements
Mm-hmm.
and different nutritional variationable diets, and nothing's working. And so what I have found that works the absolute best for breeding African soft furs is to make them cold. I
Yeah.
know that sounds fucking wild, but check this out. So like hair is made of like protein and keratin basically.
Mm-hmm.
So the African soft fur has like a type of excess protein and keratin build in their fur like a chinchilla does.
Yeah.
So a chinchilla, you can't even get wet because they'll die because their fur won't dry because it'll mold and shit. So I'm not saying soft furs are like that. Soft furs will sweat. Like I've seen them sweating. Like them fuckers are so hardy, but their core temperature is something ridiculous, like 106.9, I think. And so, with the high core temperature and the fur, in my snake building or in my rat building, the air literally never stops moving, and it's always 70 degrees Fahrenheit, ambient.
Yeah.
But the real field in there is closer to 60 because the air is always moving. I have an intake system that filters and air conditions the air. It blows cold air in. I have a fan on top that'll blow the hot air down. And so the AC intake system and the ceiling fan meet in the middle as well. So the hot air getting blown down gets cooled and then spreads back throughout my collection. And then I have one outtake exhaust fan that pushes air out of the room, and that helps keep the ammonia levels down because they're ASFs. The ammonia levels are already low. I keep them on hemp, which has a natural chemical in it that I can't remember what the fuck it's called, but it is a natural ammonia deodorizer, so it keeps your ammonia levels lower. Overall, ASFs are just cleaner than your Norwegian rats and lab mice, so the stench will be lower. And my production.
See, I find my rats don't smell that bad.
So I bred rats, mice, and ASFs.
Yeah.
And I can keep I don't have to clean I clean my ASS every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I can push them to every 3 if I wanted to.
Now, I use wood pellets for my either wood pellets or I use newspaper pellets for my rats. And that helps big time. If I wasn't so lazy, I would litter train my rats, but I'm too lazy to do that because you can do it, but I just don't.
Yeah.
But I find that helps with the smell big time. Plus, I also do instead of I do small cages that are well ventilated. And then I also do, when I do bins, I'm not doing like the standard bins people are using when they're making racks. I'm using like bins. Like you put your Christmas stuff in it, and we're putting like screening into them. So I think it's all that extra ventilation that helps.
Yeah, ventilation is. I talked to Will Moros about this a few months back.
Yeah.
When he first told me he was going to start he had the new building coming and everything.
Yeah, the big freaking the shack that's bigger than my house. Yeah.
Yeah. So months ago, maybe even a year ago, he told me that was coming in, and him and I sent him like no shit, like a 10-minute long quick rundown video of how to maximize ASF production.
Yeah.
Because I know I haven't been working with them longer than anybody, but I don't know anybody who has ASFs that are I have these ASFs called jumbo lines ASFs.
Yeah.
They're 250 grams a rodent, which is fucking huge. They are the size of a rat, and they're an African soft fur. They're gigantic.
I have a line of rats. We have, for some reason, I don't know why they're so big, but when the male, like the males, when they're jumbo, they're almost as big as my cat.
Yeah, that's how big rats are supposed to be. They're supposed to
Yeah,
be like a small dog.
like we're talking 4-day pinks. I'm not exaggerating. I have a picture, and the 4-day-old pink is as long as my pinky, and it was
Yeah.
the runt. And I
Yeah.
don't know where that line came from. I don't know if it's just because like what we're feeding it,
Just a
you
genetic
know,
mutation that pops up
genetic mutation.
sometimes.
We
I
had
bought one from somebody to be that big.
rat production going really good, and then we moved, and rats do not take moving well.
Yep.
Learned that the hard way. We did a giant cull that night. I think we went from like having hundreds of rats down to having 6 that night.
Yeah, I had 100 rats die on the drive here.
It wasn't even like we had a couple kill and cannibalize each other.
Yeah.
We had lost babies and stuff. And they turned on us.
That's the other thing about ASFs is that they are naturally cannibalistic. So are most rodents, but ASFs is pretty common.
Yeah. Now the ones I have now, and this sounds so stupid. So the way I start my colonies, the way I like to do it, I have kids that like to go into bins without you looking.
Oh yeah, of course.
I want to make sure that if my child sticks a hand in a bin, the worst thing that's going to happen is they're going to get licked. So when I start rodent production completely, like when I started again, I literally went and I bought as many fuzzies and like pups that did not have their eyes open yet, like pup size fuzzies,
Yeah,
basically, and bottle fed
that's
and
miserable.
and hand
Sounds
raised
fucking
myself.
miserable, you dude.
Loved it. Like my daughter got into it. We
I mean,
hooked
it
up like
sounds like it would be a good bonding experience, yeah,
yeah,
but
and we got the best rats from it, right? And then when they start producing, because I also believe too, like if you don't,
hey, I'm
because
gonna do
there's genetic temperament and there's conditioning temperament, right? But if you don't condition your animals to know who you are and that this stuff is okay, they're gonna get aggressive if you go near their babies because they're defending them. It's not necessarily maternal aggression. It
yeah,
could just be,
I
don't fuck
100%
with my
agree.
babies.
I 100% agree.
Because I've gotten actual in arguments. They said there's breeders that think if you 100% genetic, breed for genetic temperament, you're going to have great animals across the board. But I'm like, what happens if you get one that's just defending its babies because they don't really know what a human is?
Yeah,
Right?
you have to socialize.
You have to socialize them. I take my babies away from mom a little bit certain moms, a little bit younger than I should. As soon as they open their eyes,
You're gonna see something here in a second.
oh, this is great. Another camera.
Hold on. Okay. Stand by.
We're going on a field trip, everybody.
Hold on.
But yeah.
Ah. So, how do I flip this around?
No, we hit the button that looks like a flip around.
Oh, I'm super frozen up.
Yeah, you're lagging. Hold on. Technical difficulties.
Oh, you got me?
Kind audio only. You're
Only
kind of
audio?
really
You don't
frozen
see
out the
me?
picture. I can see you, but it's frozen.
Okay, hold on.
I feel like this, you should just Elsa it and let it go.
I might. Okay, give it a sec.
Great.
Wait, can you see me now?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're just like a badly dubbed, Japanese movie.
Well, this is only going to be for a second.
Yeah.
Okay. Watch out, Jack. You're a good boy. I love you.
Oh, the puppies.
I'm trying to figure out how to flip the camera around. But if I can't, it's okay. So, can you see all that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'll just try to pick up the babies. I don't have any issues with these softwares at all. Like they don't bite me or anything.
But I also know you do temperament conditioning too, right? You get them used to you.
Yeah. Well, so okay. Hold on. I'm about to.
Because I know you do the Honey Nut Cheerio thing.
Hold on. I'm gonna make it back to the computer.
See, I watch your stuff. I know about the Honey Nut Cheerio dust.
Okay, I'm gonna have to watch that later and see how fucking shitty that was. So, shitty that quality was. Yeah, I know, man.
But yeah, I remember it was one of the things I adopted, even though it's rats and not ASFs, you would mention like crushing up Honey Nut Cheerios and letting them lick it off your fingers.
Yeah, and I would feed them Honey Nut Cheerios and stuff, and so that was I only did that for the first couple of generations,
Mm-hmm.
and then after that, just basically not fucking them up. Like I don't know how else to put it. Like I'll reach in there, like if I go to clean the tub or I open a tub or whatever, just reach in there, pet a couple of them, and shut it. Like it takes like 5 seconds. And as long as they see me, they understand I'm not a threat. I haven't had to feed Cheerios in a long time, and I don't get bit. I don't get fucked up. I can take babies from mom. My ASFs are not aggressive. They don't they don't eat each other.
We get the occasional weird one, but that the way I see it, when we get the occasional weird one, we know it's a genetic issue. It's not a something's going on with it.
Yeah,
I mean, ours are so well behaved that, again, my 3-year-old, he likes to destroy things. He threw a bin of I had a bin of 20 pups, grow outs. Just chucked it across the kitchen because it's in our dining room. And they literally, a bunch sat there. I walked in the kitchen and I went, I called them, and it took me a couple minutes to get 20 rats. They just came when I called them.
That's wild.
I've had them if they do get out, because actually a week ago, I told John that we have different size bins for different size ages, right? And I knew they needed a new bin, and I told John can you go to the store, pick up a new bin, we have to upgrade them, right? He's like, yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. I come out and they're all out of the bin.
Damn.
But they're all sitting on the bin and they're like, hey, you're here now.
Legit.
They don't go far. And usually when one does go far, it's because the cat chased it somewheres.
Yeah, I got the cats too.
Yeah.
I forgot to show you the cat while I was in there. But Aurora Exotics had a solid question right there, if you want to bring that up. So, do your ASFs only go to the bathroom in a corner? Easier to clean than rats and mice. So, yes, my ASFs pick a corner of their tub, and they only go to the bathroom in the one corner. And so what I do is when I clean my tub, I will put the whole tub in a trash bag and MMA fighter knee it. Knee it with my knee hard as fuck. All that shit just pops right out, and then I clean it with Chlorohex, takes 5 minutes. I fill it back up with hemp. So here's another thing. Oh, I have the footage, and I need to fucking quit being a little bitch and put it together and put it on YouTube. But I did an experiment with pine flakes, pine pellets, and hemp bedding.
Yeah.
And I showed I bought a kit to test fish
Mm-hmm.
and showed like which one absorbed the ammonia levels better,
Yeah.
which one absorbed water by measuring the water, weighing the cups, flipping them over and draining the water with a coffee filter, and then looking at the
Mm-hmm.
coffee filter to show how dusty it was and all that shit. So I would say, in general, ASFs are easier to clean no matter what than rats and mice, um, purely because they have a different type of intestinal tract. And when things aren't eaten, they're filtered one of two ways, through the liver, through the kidneys. With
Yeah.
ASFs, with the way their gut works and the way their like body
Mm-hmm.
works,
Mm-hmm.
they their ammonia levels are typically lower. Now, obviously, that has to do with a lot of what you feed them. I feed
Yeah.
them straight up only doggy bag and Timothy hay. My bad, not alfalfa. Well, alfalfa is hay, but
Yeah.
Timothy hay. It's high in protein. I always want a high protein, low in fat. They go to the bathroom in
Mm-hmm.
the corner, and because I use hemp bedding, I only clean them every 2 weeks. And honestly, I could push them to 3, but I just don't. I feel
Yeah.
like 2 is healthier. Um, so that's yes to Aurora Exotics to answer your question. Yes, they go to the bathroom in the corner, and in general, they're easier to clean than mice and rats because they're not as dirty. Like period.
Mice.
Mice are more like they have more of a water weight body retention, and it makes their urine higher in ammonia levels. And rats are actually more fatty, and it makes their poops
We
worse.
we had a bad, not a bad, well, it is bad, but we had an experience with mice. So my daughter wanted to get mice. So, I'm too cheap to go to the store to buy mice. So, um I messaged my feeder breeder that I buy my feeders from, when I'm in between stuff, and I say, "Hey," cuz they have lovely lines of rats. And I said, "Hey, can I get 5 mice? Can you make a harem for me? Like, Scarlett wants to
Yeah,
breed mice. Let's, and, make them different colors because she's 7, right? Yep, sure." They didn't live long. They were too dumb to figure out the water bottle. The rolling ball water bottle that, like, we bought one that was mouse hide size. They couldn't figure it out. I showed them.
okay, so here's
I was
another
like,
here's another
what?
thing about. Or you remember we talked about earlier genotype.
Yeah.
When you breed feeder rodents as a genotype,
Mm-hmm.
typically they are not as intelligent as other rodents. Even if you watch your snake eat, and a lot of the time I really don't. I'll
Yeah.
watch them eat the rat to make sure that everything is fine, and then I
Yeah.
shut the top. But my ASS, like when they get coiled, they just lay there and take it. Like you know what I mean? Like there's
Yeah,
no
my rats do too.
like, and that is a genotypic
Mm-hmm.
thing in the dinucleic acid DNA that's in that animal, and that is also a line bred type trait. So that's also something to think about. 4S Python has
Yeah, I was gonna put it up when we were done our thing. When
yeah
you're done talking.
Aurora Exotics. Message me and let me know where you're at. I'll
She's in Minnesota, I
but
think.
I mean a little more specific because I do know a lot of reputable ASF breeders. So if there are any near you or that will deliver to you or anything, just shoot me a message on IG and I'll see if I
She
can find
breeds
someone
she
in
breeds
your area.
rabbits. She breeds
Nice.
bunnies, yeah.
Um,
Sporus pythons. Brandon and Kathleen, do you both ultrasound or palpate your females? So hi, I'm poor in first season, so I don't own an ultrasound.
both. I, however, just got the ultrasound.
And I think I palpate. Let's be honest.
Excuse me, I burped. That was rude. I do both. I like to start out with palpation. Oh, we
Oh,
was
Antoine in the house.
just talking about you, bro.
Like
Yo,
5 times.
Kathleen talked about how hard you ate crayons and shit.
No. I talked about how John wanted to buy Crayola cereal.
Oh, that's what that was.
Just
Yeah.
that thing.
All I know is you fucking hardheads, man. No, I love Antoine, dude. That's a good dude. I can't wait. The next time I see him, I really want to sit down, buy that man a beer, and talk like MMA. And
Oh, I already told John, like, I'm like, I don't care what we're doing. The weekend he comes up to Canada, like, we're driving the 10 hours. I don't care if we're just there for the day. Like, we go there, hi, buddy, bye, buddy,
he's a
and
good
leave.
dude, man.
Like,
Yeah, he's a really nice guy for real. I'll tell you something that's important to me is like inside the Raw Python community, the veteran community, like
yeah.
we're pretty friendly with each other, and it's pretty.
Well,
It's
I told John because John's not very socially, like, John's very socially awkward and he's an introvert. I told him, like, why don't you, even though you're Canadian veteran, or, retired, like, why don't you get into the military community, the retired military community, and within the community, you know?
Thanks, Antoine. You're the best, man.
Love you, buddy. Everybody go follow Antoine. Join his Discord that I made. And
if you're
he
following
ignores
us,
this.
you're already following him. I promise. But yeah, so yeah, the
Antoine
veteran...
thinks I'm cool. Sub to the channel. No, just kidding. Kathleen wants to be monetized.
So, but no, yeah, the veteran community is legit, very helpful, and it's really cool to have people like, there's certain things that I can't talk to normal people about because they just don't know.
Yeah.
But like John Feely, Antoine, JT Tomlinson from from the chip, that was my commander when I was a paratrooper in the Army in the 82nd Airborne. And so guys like that, it's really cool to have still that camaraderie even within our, our snake community. I love it, man. For real.
I think John is like one of the few Canadian retired military people.
Yeah, like I said, I only worked with the Canadian Army that one time when we did that jump, that training exercise.
He used to go down all the time to do stuff, like to do courses for the American military members and train people to do stuff.
Yeah, there's bases like Fort Drum up in New York. There's a lot of bases.
He went to Virginia a lot.
Who's in Virginia?
Hold on, John. Where in Virginia did you used to go?
I think it was Navy in Virginia.
No. Because he said like there was snow and everybody freaked out.
Oh, Virginia, yeah.
Yeah. Where in Virginia did you used to go when you were in the military? Okay, but where'd you go? He's like Fort. I can't remember. He told me a story like he was there once and it snowed and everybody panicked. Fort B?
Lee, L-E-E.
Lee B?
Like Lima Echo Echo.
Oh, like Lima Echo. The Lee. I know the phonetic alphabet. Like, I'm not smart.
That's good. Okay, Aurora Exotics, I see
years.
You. Oh, Aurora Exotics, I see you. I'll ask around for you.
I can't remember. He can't remember. His brain scrambled. It's been a decade. But yeah, he used to go there. And I was just saying how you guys would go down and train the American military guys on stuff.
Yeah, joint trainings.
He goes, yeah, fun trip. And rolls his eyes.
So I'll tell you, man, I've been to over 40 countries in my lifetime.
Entire state shut down. We just laughed.
Oh yeah, when they got like an inch of snow and the whole state shut down.
Oh yeah. Because there are states that since they don't get snow, they don't have salt trucks and snow plow trucks and shit. So they have to shut the state down when it snows.
Yeah.
Because they don't have the stuff to clear it.
Yeah. John's like, we just put on our winter gear and kept on trucking.
Yeah, that's what we would do. I've been in like Korea where it was like -40.
Oh man, that's a norm. Like we get snow for Halloween where I live. Like, hate it.
I pretty much only want snowy Christmas. It's pretty much all I want.
I was
It's
so
like,
excited when the snow piles finally melt in like what was it, end of May? The snow piles finally melted and you could see the house next door. I'm like, oh, there was a house out there all winter. I didn't realize.
okay, hold on.
Oh, you got a question.
That's
So, Brandon, my ASFs are giving small litters 5 to 7, and they are still very young. Each of them have only had 3 litters. Is this a food issue, a male issue, or something else I am doing?
Well, Corey, it's hard to say without knowing what you're doing. So, but okay, you typically when female ASFs and okay, no one ever fucking believes me when I say this, and then I sell them ASFs,
Mm-hmm.
and then they tell me I'm sorry, I thought you were a liar, when they find out that I'm not a
Yeah.
liar. My ASFs, where I told you they're bigger than normal, so
Yeah.
African sulfurs are multi-mammates that have 18 nipples, meaning they should have larger litter sizes. I have females
Yeah.
that will drop me no shit 40 to 55 pups in
Ooh.
one litter. Okay, one female.
Damn.
Yes, so I'm not joking. So typically, that is a food issue, nutrition issue, or it could be your male, your female, or nutrition.
Yeah.
It could be any of the three. It's hard to say because I don't know what you're doing. But I always tell people when you feed ASFs, you want to feed them food with the highest fat and highest crude protein, lowest fat that you can find. If you can find food where the fat is 6 to 7% or lower, that's what you want, and you want a 20% plus protein. Straight up. All I feed is okay, this is in my opinion, this is what I feed, and I think they're the two best because I've tried so many different things, even Missouri. And I'll explain this right now. I feed doggy bag and cow pellets.
Brandon's got name.
Okay. So doggy bag. Doggy bag can be found at Tractor Supply. DOO. Well, you're already fucking up. Get rid of that Missouri. Because when I put my ASFs on Missouri, they quit breeding. Straight up. No
Really?
shit. 100%. Now,
I've heard Missouri even causes tumors in regular rats. So
see, I don't know much about Missouri, but I'll tell you, the fresh greens are fine. The oil sunflower seeds are fine, but I do doggy bag. So, if you calculate the macronutrients for anyone who's ever worked out a day in their life and learned about physical fitness, calculate the macronutrients from Missouri and doggy bag. They are damn near the same. Cow pellets are even better, and they're cheaper. I can get a 40-pound bag of doggy bag, I think, for between $14 and $16, which is cheap for 40 pounds of dog food. But cow pellets are $9 or $10 for a 50-pound bag, and they're higher in protein.
Do you get them at like Tractor Supply?
At this place called Atwoods, ATWOODS.
Well, all I know is across the border I have like the Tractor Supply. So
Atwoods is basically like the same thing. It's Tractor Supply's competitor. So if Tractor Supply is McDonald's, Atwood is Burger King. Okay? Put it in perspective. So
that's great.
Like they're competitors. So with the cow pellets in the doggy bag is what I started seeing. Okay, that plus the air. I cannot tell you how much changing the air increased my production. Like, I know people think African sulfurs should be hot because they come from Africa. Dude, I keep it cold in that room, like fucking cold. If I can keep it between 65 and 70, where the air is consistently moving, that's what I want.
Even with regular rats, like I kept mine in the basement initially when we first moved here because we have a huge basement. It's one room that's 3/4 of the size of the house that's all just like unfinished, which I'm like, ooh, rodent area, right?
Yeah.
My rodents did not thrive down there. They died.
Lack of
They would
ventilation.
cannibalize. I had fans and fans and fans and fans and fans going.
But
Don't know why.
did you have air exchange though?
There was a landing and it was opened, like the area, like it's open to the upstairs, like to the stair, like the stairs that go upstairs.
Yeah.
So they didn't do well, and then I bring them upstairs, and I'm like, I'm done with it. Bring them upstairs, put them in my fucking dining room. They're doing great. We get right now. We're at the point where we're only getting a litter every like 2-3 weeks. We're
So-
starting to get back into producing big time.
4S.
Yeah.
I do think that large litters are also a genotype thing, like we've been talking about. And that's something that's never touched on in the ball python community. But yeah, I do believe it's also genotypic for.
Yeah.
large litter
I had that
females.
discussion with Dylan with D's balls, actually. The same discussion.
Okay, yeah,
That he breeds like for genotype large litters.
Yes, and Corey, not only do I recommend the doggy bag and the cow pellets, also Corey, if you're really having issues, man, hit me up on Instagram. But changing that air, like cooling the broom and making it mobile, is so important. And when I say air exchange, like I have fresh air come in from outside, and the old air is being pushed out through an exhaust fan. Like that air exchange and keeping it cool, like that really fucked me over because then my production got so big, I had to start selling to a local pet store. I was like, holy shit.
I know I do this, so I'm wondering if you do it. So you said you can get like 45, 55 a litter.
Yeah.
And they only have 18 nipples. Do you ever diminish litter numbers? Because I do that sometimes.
So what I do is I have the harem breeding method.
Yeah.
So I don't do anything. All the females will nurse all the babies, and if I sell rodents or freeze them, they're all males. And if I
well, see what happened to me one time is I had again, we're just starting back up again. We were going really good, and we're starting back up again. I have 2 rats with 1 male right now in one enclosure, and they cannot sync up when they have babies for the life of them. Their first litters were 11 days apart, and one had a big litter, and the other one had a big litter. They completely ignored the newest litter and let them all die off, and both took care of the other litter. Because there was such an age difference that they went and took care of the bigger babies and used all their resources for that.
So yeah, no, my tubs are Corey, I got you, man. My tubs are huge, like the biggest tubs you can get.
Yeah.
So I probably for real have 20 females and 4 males.
Yeah.
In a tub, and that's like a colony. It's unreal. They're huge.
Yeah. I
have to because of how my snake production.
Yeah. Now I have them now that they've had a couple more litters. They're still not synced up completely. Like I find one mom will have, by the time she's had, like it's 6 weeks from the day she gives birth to the time she has the next litter. So being pregnant for 3 weeks and then 3 weeks raising the babies. Like I usually wean around 3 weeks. I find as soon as they open their eyes and they're running around and can nibble, that's usually when I wean because I socialize them myself.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm weird. It works for me.
So
really
eventually start to ease off that and do what I did, like just make them,
Oh yeah.
It'll eventually be to where you don't have to do that anymore.
Once we have a few more litters, but now I've got it timed that we're so good. We took a litter away, we weaned it, and 20 minutes later, we weaned rat A's litter. 20 minutes later, rat B dropped hers.
Oh wow.
So now we've got 2 moms who are lactating, taking care of the one litter, and I've got the babies from rat mom A.
Yeah.
They can drink water out of the thing. They can run around. I mean, they're only that big, but
Yeah, but if you can get them to adulthood, I mean, that's
oh, I
what's
can
worth
get them to adulthood. I mean, whatever makes it to adulthood that I don't feed off. But
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. of
yeah,
course.
I can usually have a rat from the time it's given birth up to breeding size in about 6 weeks.
So, real quick, Corey, you being in Florida is huge because of the humidity.
Mm-hmm.
So, I would highly recommend a dehumidifier
Humidifier.
for that room. So, when I tell people if you're going to build a rat building, it actually doesn't have to be as big as you think it is. If you're utilizing the harem method, if you're utilizing the colony breeding method, it has to be gigantic.
Mm-hmm.
So I use the harem method, so my room is probably like 30 by 20, maybe. And I have 2 windows. So in one window, I have an intake AC. So it pulls air in, it filters it, it cools it, and then it shoots it out. And it shoots it out right into the. I have it like literally in the center of the room because the big ceiling fan I have is in the center of the room. So the
Yeah.
ceiling fan takes the hot air from the top and pushes it down and meets with that filtered, cooled air to cool it. And then the cool air pushes down and out, and it continues to recycle throughout my whole room. Then
Nice.
on another wall, I have an outtake fan. It just straight up sucks air out.
Nice.
So that also keeps that stinky ammonia shit
Mhm.
pushed out, and it helps. Okay, so dehumidifier, what's ideal for them? Honestly, I keep them pretty dry, man. Like the humidity will. It's not so much your rodents the humidity are going to affect.
Yep.
Okay, it's going to be your bedding because your bedding is going to go bad faster because of the humidity in the air, and it'll increase bacterial growth, which will make your rodents thrive less. Common sense, right? So that's the first thing. I try to keep them honestly as dry as I can because they drink water.
Mhm.
Like if they're thirsty, they're just gonna drink the water, man. So like that's just that.
Scott, I
I
know you
mean,
read ASFs because natural food and protein / fat ratio, but so far, to me, it's taken freaking forever to get the ASFs to decent size. My rats are ready to feed off by 4 to 5 weeks old.
okay, so ESFs are slower growing rodents. That is a fact. However, they are a larger number producing rodent. So,
Mhm.
like I said, it took me a year to get my ASF breeding cycle to size
Yeah,
for my 220 snake collection.
which leads
Okay.
into that. How long does it take you guys to get? I don't know. I don't have ASFs, so that runs.
Fuck, I've been breeding them so long, I couldn't even tell you. Like, I can just go in there and get whatever size I want whenever I want, right? All year
Oh
round.
man,
But it
the
took me,
whole reason we bred rats is because I hate FT. I hate frozen thawed.
yeah.
The reason why I
That's
hate it is
why.
so stupid. So I will pre-kill everything
Okay.
except for live eaters. I hate thawing out a rat and someone not fucking eating, and
Yeah.
I wasted a rat
So that's why
when I
people,
could have raised it to breed.
yeah. That's why people,
It feels like it's a wasted life. Like honestly.
I feed live due to feeding response. That's really my only reason. And I just, time.
I,
That's just my thing is time.
I mean, we had snakes that came that were already like established on F frozen thawed, so we just continued with pre-kill. Because then I'm not like sitting there being like, all right, I gotta check you in an hour. Like, all right, cool. I can just cervical dislocation takes 2 seconds,
There
toss it.
you go, yeah.
Away we
Just
go. And we do it one at a
just
time, one at a
Yep.
time, and then the live eaters we have, like it's not a big deal, but it's just
So,
all right.
okay.
Let me drop the rat in. All right, I gotta go check on you. Like it's just over now. It's just
I,
more annoying to me. I don't care about the actual live part.
I want to say it's about 6 weeks if I had to guess, 4 to 6 weeks to get an ASF to size. It
Yeah.
depends on what you're breeding them and, you know, what you're
Some
feeding them and shit. And then I know I saw that. And then Corey, you said you have to clean 1 to 2 times a week. Yes, it
since
is.
when we feed live now? What are you talking about, you nitwit?
And so fucking Corey, that means it's way too humid in there. The three huge things you can do to fix that:
Hmm.
dehumidifier, keep it cold because cold air is dry air, and keep air moving because moving air pulls water out. So those are the three things you have to do to and switch to doggy bag because it's the same macronutrients as Missouri, but it will save you thousands of dollars a year, literally.
Yeah.
So those are the four things I recommend for you to do, my friend. Again, message me when you get more specific if you would like.
I drank this whole bottle on this live.
Yes, you
Usually
did.
takes me 5 hours to finish one drink.
You did good.
I'm not even like I'm ready for a nap. Like I'm
And
not even.
so the only other thing I'm looking at real quick is anytime Corey Tracy's comment, the big one. I know you only rate it as this because natural food and protein to fat ratio.
Oh yeah, we
So
started talking about that, and then we went into that one.
yeah, so I want to finish that real quick. So check this out. Um, people's focus, I think, is wrongly misguided when they look at feeding. So I'm not breeding them in my snake room 4S now. They have a separate building. They're connected. Like I could walk down the hallway from one to the other, but that's it. Um, so okay, when you're feeding any species, what you're feeding them is just as important as what is inside that species. So I talked earlier about the ASF's gut and how things are filtered to the liver and the kidneys
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. So with the ball python, okay, here's a good thing, right? You look at dogs, you look at canines, and then you look at
Mm-hmm.
a rabbit. Okay, carnivore and herbivore. You have a carnivore who has a gut, a very short intestinal tract, with very strong stomach
Mm-hmm.
acid made to break down meat, right? So dogs don't actually get as much nutrition from eating vegetables because their stomach acid is so strong, it breaks it down. And by the time it gets to the filter system, being the liver or the kidneys, they're like the digestive enzymes didn't absorb anything to push to the bloodstream because it
Yep.
got broke down too fast. Where there's the opposite for herbivores, where they have a very weak intestinal tract, or my bad, a very long intestinal tract with very weak stomach acid,
Yeah.
right? So they eat the vegetables, which takes a long time to break down along the way.
Yeah, and then
So
most herbivores have multiple stomachs.
yes, they do. And you know, lizards that require UV typically also have multiple stomachs.
Yep.
But fun fact. But so what I'm getting at is within the ball python's gut are the digestive enzymes specifically made to break down and absorb nutrients of what an African sufferer is made out of. So when people talk about feeding ASFs, rats, mice, and things like that, it's not even so much the prey item as it is where you have to look at the anatomy and physiology of the species you're feeding.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to look at the anatomy and physiology of what you're feeding them. Because I want to feed my ASF a solid naturalistic diet so it can absorb nutrition because quality in, quality out, right?
All
That's
right, there, Billy Rose.
that's the truth. I mean, it's the truth. I'm gonna preach. That man, that William Rose, I'll tell you what, I've been watching that man's YouTube channel before it was good. I've always believed in what that guy does, and he's been one of my favorite.
I did a 9-hour live with him. Never again.
Oh, that's a long time.
I keep saying I need to have him back on because when I had him on, it was right around. That's just pop now. I drank all the wine. Sorry. Well, I drank it all. I can't help it. I had him on right around the reptile ball or the ball pythons 101 incident. So he kind of went off about that a lot.
Yeah.
So I'd like to have him on again for an actual interview.
Get some knowledge out of them.
Yeah, but I know if he comes on, he's gonna want to try to break the record for last time.
I mean, why would you not want to always outdo yourself?
I don't want to. Okay, here's how long it was. Everybody said goodnight to Scarlett on the chat, right?
And then they
Everybody
said,
seen me put her on the school bus the next morning.
I can't. That's crazy. I'm
Yeah.
old. I'm ready for bed now. Like I'm old.
It's like 9 minutes to 1, so I'm giving this 9 more minutes, guys, and then I'm going to bed.
Yeah. So let me hold real quick. Forest pythons. Okay, cool. Because I had problems because the only space I had for rodents was in my snake room. Zero production in 6 months. It was probably also way too hot in your snake room, and I'll tell you, the only time I ever have had issues with rodents chewing out, the water spout was clogged. They didn't have food. It was too hot, or the tub was too overcrowded. Like, if they ever chew out, this is my experience. I've been breeding ASFs for 6 years.
Yeah.
There's always a reason, and it's always my fault. Every time. Also, if they do chew out, I never feed them. I cervically dislocate them.
Yeah.
And I throw them away because
you never know what they got out.
Yeah, you don't know what they ate. Like, if I find one in my fucking kitchen, I don't know if that fucker chewed through the goddamn Pine Sol bottle and then
Absolutely.
So when and then you can't put them. So all rodents are colony animals. So if one chews out or escapes by any means, you cannot put it back in the colony because it'll teach the others how to do the same fucking thing, and then you're fucked. So I have Doug. Doug is my rat cat, and I don't even feed him. Doug just eats the scabies.
Yeah. Unless unless you're me and train your rats to sit on top of the enclosure and wait for you.
I got too many. I probably have.
We've all made mistakes. You know how people accidentally leave a bin open or don't shut it the entire way. John forgot to shut because we have critter nations too that we use, right?
Oh, nice.
For rats. Yeah. So he forgot to click it shut because you have to squeeze in and push, and he left it open. He comes downstairs and he didn't check them for a day or two, right? He goes downstairs to give him his big water bottle. Goes downstairs like 2 days later. They're all sitting on top of the enclosure being like, hey! And then as soon as he was in the room, he called them. They all ran to him.
That's wild, dude.
Yeah.
Rats are smart. There's a point in my life where I had two chinchillas and one hairless rat. So the hairless rat was the first animal I actually ever performed my first surgery on. And I removed her eye. She needed it removed. It was swollen and putting a lot of pressure on her crania. And so I kept her and named her Rosie. She was a great pet for 4 years. And I had two chinchillas, which are the smartest rodents in the world. That is an understatement. Those things are so fucking intelligent.
Yeah. If you take really good care of your rats, they're not going to go very far from the nest.
Yeah, Rosie was pretty good. I let her run around in the ball, but she was living with her.
So if we have an escapee, it's not going far. I usually don't even bother calling it. I just put it back in, right?
Yeah.
And there was one time we had to call an escapee because what we have them in right now, it's just a display case with shelving in it that we put the bins on. And somebody had cut a hole in it to put cords through, right? Well, the rat decided to stick his head out of the hole.
Yeah.
But got his rear end stuck. Right? And we couldn't get him. We knew if we tried to get him out, we're going to kill him. So we just called him.
Yeah, right there.
To get him out. And it was just like, oh, man.
Yeah,
it was a nice one.
So, yeah, Tracy, leave traps all over. There are humane traps.
I don't even leave traps. I really don't.
There are really... I have a cat.
I have the same.
Yeah, there are humane traps that I do think are very good. I also saw your question that I need to come to the East Coast. So Liz and I will probably actually stop through and see you when we're going through our West Coast Reptile Revolution tour, 100%. But and 4S, yeah, 99% sure it was, yes, 100%. So when I made the drive from North Carolina to here in Oklahoma, and I looked at my rats, I put them. They were all in the back of the U-Haul. They were literally sweating. Like it looks like a person's hair. Like when they get out of the shower, it sucked. I felt so bad for them, but they all lived. They're hardy. All the rats, Norwegian rats, all dead. 100 of them. All every single one of them.
They don't do with heat well at all.
Yeah. So
We've had it been like 80, 90% humidity in the house and 30 degrees Celsius.
Jesus Christ.
Like just, a hot summer day
That's
and
miserable.
lost bins.
Yeah. So people underestimate the temperature thing. Like
Yeah.
I think a Norwegian rat's core temperature is like 102, like 102. Just
They're
alone.
super sensitive to.
So yeah, if you're already that hot, right? Plus you're in a bin with another bunch of motherfuckers just as hot as you, and you're on fucking wood, and you have fur, and it's hot as fuck. Like, dude, it's a bad recipe.
Oh yeah, I'll start throwing in like frozen corn, frozen blueberries, like partially freezing water bottles and then putting water in it, right?
Yeah,
Like
I put ice in their water buckets and shit. But
yeah,
that's the only
filling up
thing
with
I don't do is give them cold water. That would be the one thing I wish I could do. And one quick plug before I forget, because we only have like 2.5, 3 minutes left.
Yep.
Joe from JSA, he did one of the coolest fucking things I've ever seen. So I've seen a lot of people make their rodent systems, like to where it's a hose, so it's consistently running no matter what. Joe put the hoses in his buckets, but has like the toilet plunger thing in there. Like not the toilet plunger, but in the back.
No, the thing when you flush that opens and shuts.
Yeah, the bobber. So when it gets too low, the hose will fill it back up until it gets to the top and then stops moving. So I don't know if it's on his IGTV. It's somewhere on his Instagram. I would love for him to do like a 5-minute explanation video. I gotta hit him up for that. But anyway, if you guys aren't following JSA, his logo.
I just went to follow him.
Yeah, his logo is orange. His thing is called the Light Guys. Listen, JSA Reptiles, he makes some banging ass shit. Do not sleep on that dude. I saw he had like some crazy fucking like
high intensity OD freeway.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Yes,
okay,
like
he's doing freeway, not highway. I'm already a stan. Like,
yeah.
He works with asphalt. I'm good.
I only also work with the asphalt stuff, freeways, and I work it as a super. So
me
super
too. Well, no, I work asphalt.
Or super asphalt. That's all, yeah.
I work asphalt as cryptic, like cryptic. So you can either put it with yellow belly clown and get kryptons, or you can put it with another clown and get clowns. So I work asphalt like a het cryptic.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I try to make everything super. I'm like super asphalt plus. I don't know.
I love freeways, so I just can't.
Yeah, I like that they're darker. Highways are cool, but they age more orange and they're good with light stuff. I like dark stains. So
it's my favorite, and I finally got to see my first freeway in person. So
what?
Did you not see that?
No, in person.
So I was supposed to hit a clutch of it would have made me possible Mojave freeways or Mojave yellow bellies this year.
Yeah.
Just didn't go. It was our first year breeding. We moved, just didn't go. And I never seen one in person. And Michelle with Mordex Pythons, if you know who Michelle is, she sent me and my daughter to share a pastel freeway 66% het G stripe.
Oh, I did actually. Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, see, here's a freeway right here.
He's a pretty baby.
This is the
It's my
boy.
favorite.
This is a male freeway, and every year he goes to female asphalt and female ivories,
Yeah.
which are reinvestment clutches. But yeah, he's great. He does good.
But
His
it's
whole-
so funny that it was a pastel freeway because I opened the bag and it just looks different than a regular pastel freeway. But pastel freeways and like super pastel freeways were what made me want to breed. So I'm literally got my dream animal in my collection.
I don't know if I have a dream ball.
And now I have to find like a yellow belly genetic stripe to go prove him out. I'm looking right now at a proven breeder G-stripe female. It's a pastel G-stripe HRA het lab female proven breeder. I'm looking at her just to prove out his G-stripe because I don't want to breed it out and tell people it's Poss Ashfall. Stop correcting the way I say it. I'm Canadian.
Yeah, it's just an accent. Some people say asphalt. I say where I'm from Pennsylvania. You say asphalt. ASS.
Asphalt and asphalt are two different things. They're made out of different materials, and that's why Canadians pronounce it differently than Americans.
Oh, that's wild. I didn't know that.
I Googled it because people were like, hey, you say asphalt. And I'm like, shut up.
I just always assumed it was an accent thing, dude.
No, it's literally
like-
made out of different materials.
Any word with like OUT, like about, shout.
Oh,
like,
Brandon, cut it.
No, you're frozen.
No, you're frozen.
No, you're frozen. You guys say like about.
No, you're frozen.
No, you're
All right,
frozen.
Elsa. No.
That's a good point.
Yeah, especially where I live, we seem to have thicker accents than most Canadians.
Yeah, you do. Come here.
I don't have that much of an accent.
Yeah, you do. I noticed
Oh,
it as
no.
soon as you came on. I was like, oh, damn.
We've been on a live together before.
Yeah, but I noticed it extra this time. Ugh. I'm fucking with my dog. He's being a twat.
Oh God, that live.
I can't remember that live. Oh, that was
mental health episode.
holy.
And then what's his face came at me for like days afterwards.
Oh yeah, we're not gonna get into that.
Nope.
Nope.
I just laughed. I don't even remember their name. It was good. It's fine. All right, guys. Any more questions for Brandon before I go to bed?
I got like 2 minutes. I'm tired. I'm
It's tired. Plus, I get to do what I want to do now because of that day. So I don't want to go to bed.
I'm totally. Do I have to do anything before bed? No, I'm going to bed.
John's just been like, he keeps going to bed and coming up and staring at me.
That's creepy, man.
He's creepy.
It's only a matter
We're
of
going
time.
on our 4-year anniversary. That's crazy.
That is wild.
Yep, 3 kids.
You're nuts, man. I can't do it.
Yep.
No,
Well, until he got with me, all his relationships were a year under.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what did I do? Oh wait, I got pregnant.
I was married for, I think, 4 years, and I got divorced. We have no kids. And it wasn't even an ugly thing. It just didn't work out. She's a good woman, too.
I keep trying to get married, and he's like, if you want a piece of paper that bad, I'll go into the closet and grab you some computer paper.
I always say, if you sign the prenup, I'll get married. That's what I always say.
I mean, we're both poor, so there's no prenup. Like,
I grew up poor, but I'm no longer poor, so never under signing the prenup.
oh no, we're poor. We're poor. It's 1 a.m. I'm in a different day than you guys, so
Yeah, happy birthday, Kathleen.
shut up, Brandon. We weren't making that comment.
I'm
No.
officially the first one to tell you. Officially. Don't ever forget.
Because the other ones, we're not. We're ignoring it. We're ignoring it.
Yeah,
I'm
5
turning.
minutes.
Yeah, I'm 29 today, guys.
5 minutes into your birthday. Fun chatting and gazing.
Oh, it's an hour into my birthday.
Oh, yeah. It's different we're in different time zones.
That's what time it is.
Yeah, we're in different time zones. I forgot.
I'm 1:05 a.m.
Wait, is my computer wrong or is my phone wrong? I'm 11:05.
I'm 2 hours ahead of you.
Yeah, you're 2 hours. So you're in what do they call it, PCT? You're not EST, right?
No, I'm not PCT. That's Pacific. I'm in Atlantic.
Okay, what's your thing called?
Atlantic.
Is it ACT? Does it have letters or just
It's they either call it AGT or AST depending on
ADT?
like
Yeah,
yeah.
I've seen ADT. Okay.
Mhm. So Atlantic Daylight Time or Atlantic
Yeah.
Standard Time. It all depends on like which way we're going with.
That's how are you earlier than Eastern time? Because she's over. She's
Yeah. So
further
literally
east.
when I set these things up, guys, like everyone's like, I need you to do them later because I'm on the West Coast. I need you to and then like 9 p.m. EST was as late as I was going because people don't get that it's 10 o'clock my time.
Yeah. Yeah.
10 o'clock.
I mean, I would have done it whenever you wanted to. I'm retired. Like I'm a full-time ball python breeder. Like
I
this is
mean,
my-
technically I am, but wait, am I a breeder or am I not a breeder?
do you have an LLC and all that bullshit?
No, because where I live until I make a certain amount of money, it's a hobby.
Okay, so then you're a hobby breeder is what you are.
Mhm. But am I a breeder though? Because it's kind of like Schrodinger's cat. Did I have a clutch or did I not have a clutch?
So okay. If I had to say the qualifications for a breeder, I would say you have to take a hatchling, raise it up, right?
Mhm.
Go through your growing pains or whatever.
Yep.
Breed it, have a clutch, and then successfully be able to establish hatchlings and sell one. That would
God
be.
damn it!
That
I
would
went through
be-
that hard. I went through that hard thing for nothing.
And I'm telling, no, it ain't for nothing. I'll tell you, no one sees. All right, before we end this episode.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's in Eastern Canada. Yes. So you people are going to do this shit for like 4 or 5 years, and it's gonna be hard, and it's gonna fucking suck. That and 5 years is like a long time because humans don't live that long. But like, dude, I don't know. For me, what happened like year 6
Mhm.
was the first year where I was like, how do I put it? My rats were totally paying for themselves. My snakes are totally paying for themselves. And I'm no longer putting my own money into my collection. I'm no longer just reinvesting. I was finally able to pay myself something. And at year 6, I was like, crazy. Yeah,
All right, I'm gonna.
if you guys ain't got no more questions, it's fucking bedtime.
Yeah, really quickly before we go, because I'm tired of people asking this. So we're gonna do
Where you
this.
are in Canada, you're gonna screen
Yes,
share a map.
we're going to look at a map because everybody keeps asking.
You said
me.
you're above Maine.
Everybody keeps asking me.
Guys, she said she's a. I mean, fuck, man.
We'll just share really quick,
screen share
okay?
that shit.
Because we're gonna take a geography lesson. Chrome tab.
Shit.
Where did that go? I'm gonna have to like shut all my. Hold on. It froze. Nope, that's not it. That's not it. Technical difficulties. I will show you guys where I live. It's on a map right here.
Above Maine.
Above Maine.
It's above Maine. You
Oh
fucks.
my god. All right. There is Maine. See this?
Oh, look, it says Maine right there.
There's Quebec.
Yes.
Okay, we'll zoom out a little bit. Okay, see that blue dot in that panhandle?
Yeah, look at that.
That's where I live in this province.
So you see Philadelphia, Pennsylvania down there on your left?
Yep.
If you stay at that height and go all the way left
Yep.
to the left corner of Pennsylvania, that's where I'm from. Right there.
Ooh.
That's where Vicksburg is. Yeah,
Yeah,
Vicksburg.
there you go. So there I am. There's Billy.
Holy shit. Yeah.
There's Montreal, which is Montreal.
Wow, it really would take me a long time to drive from Billy's to fucking Alberta.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that's like a week, dude.
Yep.
So literally, like, if you here's how, and this is always what's funny because everyone's like, "How close are you to the border?" My house is actually the blue dot. There's
That's
the border. There's my house.
Damn, you're almost American.
And then you go on the other side of town, which this is like a 20-minute drive. There's Quebec.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, it'll be cheap for you to ship animals one way or the other. Cheaper.
Okay, so I need to figure out how it can be done because I'd like to figure out a way that I can import and export my own animals. Because here's the thing: you could send an animal to me, right? There's a post office in that town in Maine, that will accept packages for Canadians. It comes in. It's just going to be your regular thing. I pay a $40 fee. I pick up package. There has to be a way for me to get my export and import license. So that way, I don't care about paying the fees to actually like bring it over. That's fine.
Well.
I have. He's still confused. Because here's the thing, that animal's coming to me in one day. It's not being shipped here, there, then here, then to me. Do you know how much less stress my animal's going to be?
Yeah, I know. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
And the fact that, like, if I have a friend, right, who maybe has an animal, I don't know, maybe Chris wants to buy an animal from you. Dude, send it to the post office. I'll just go pick it up on my lunch. Like, John doesn't work during the day. We'll just go pick it up for you, bud.
Yeah, right.
There has to be a way to do it.
Yeah, you should do that and just charge a little commissioning fee for yourself.
Realistically, someone could have their animal in 2 to 3 days versus weeks.
Yeah. Look into that. Jesse from Freedom Breeder also might be able to help you with that. I know he's a lot harder to get a hold of than most. So
yeah, I was talking to Cusco about it, and he's like, "Message Mark Mandick," and I'm like,
everyone's just like, message this person.
People I've already like talked to a bit, and they're like, "I don't know how you would do it." All right, guys, it's been way over that. I really want to go to bed. Welcome to the geography lesson. That was fun.
You guys suck about knowing what Maine is.
As Shane says, what's Maine?
Yeah, that whole upper right portion of the U.S. If I was president.
So I live
your country.
The northernest town in USA is what I live 3 minutes from.
Yeah.
Basically.
Oh.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for coming, hanging out on season 2 premiere. We have a lot of cool stuff planned for this. Well, I say we. It's the royal we, guys. John doesn't plan anything. I have some really great stuff coming up. I've got something I'm calling Generation Next coming up, where I'm going to interview the kiddos in the industry. I think that's going to be fun.
That sounds really badass.
Yeah, it's all going to be pre-recorded and stuff.
Yeah, that's going to be done like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to have some fun stuff planned coming up. There may or may not be working on a game show. I'm bored. I'm coming up with content ideas. It's fun. I like to be a little bit different than everybody. Go give a like, share, subscribe. I do want to shout out Chris Ward's doing a 10K giveaway, and he's pushing for 1K on YouTube. So go follow him so I can stop hearing him whining about it.
Watch my episode with him on YouTube because it's good. It's literally just like an hour of him and me bullshitting, and then 30 minutes of questions, and then 30 minutes of us bullshitting, and then it's over.
At least we were somewhat educational.
Yeah, I really did try to be. I really tried to, like, at least drop some sort of knowledge.
Yeah.
I know stuff, I promise. You just gotta ask me so I can tell you.
So yeah, if you haven't subbed to my channel, please do. I might be doing a giveaway because I really want to hit my goal of 1K subs by November 13th. That's my goals. I have to November 13th to hit 4,000 hours and 1K subs. I have my hours. I just need the 1K subs now, guys.
That's lots of hours. Holy shit.
Yeah, I had it by end of February. I had my hours from November to February. So I just need the subs. I want it.
Fucking assholes.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Brandon, for coming on. It was great. Thanks for
Fuck
not
yeah,
leaving
dude.
me. Thanks not for leaving me hanging for another 6 months.
Next time I leave you on red, hit me up in 6 months after that, and I'll come on again. Nah!
You're forever. You're just gonna start leaving me on read now, like every time. Wow.
Maybe sometimes.
If anybody wants to get him on a show, just message me because he knows not to ignore me anymore.
Yeah, that's gonna be honestly your best bet. 'Cause I'm pretty hard to get a hold of. Subscribing now. There you go. You have a good one too, Elliot. I hope
Bye,
you're doing good.
Elliot. I hope you're feeling better. Thanks for hanging out, guys. All right.
4S,
I am
Tracy. Thanks for
peace
showing up.
and out.
Yeah, later, nerds.